Brother Martin Crusaders football as this evening the Crusaders battle the Warren Easton Eagles. And a pleasant good evening to you. Ken Trahan on a pleasant evening. It's beautiful here in City Park this evening. And we're looking forward to a beautiful game between the Brother Martin Crusaders, who have the ability to play the beautiful game, and we're not talking soccer, and the Warren Easton Eagles, who play the beautiful game. They're a tremendous football team with exquisite talent, well coached, and the task will be tall for Brother Martin here tonight. The Crusaders are coming off of a tough opener against a really talented team in Petal, Mississippi, losing 40-14 in the game last week, heard here on WGSO. And Warren Easton is, well, they're just really good. They're coming off of ironically, the same score, beat Jesuit 40-14 last week. Lenny Sumich, Chad LaRose, John May. Guys, it's great to be back. Great to have you with us. Lenny, first and foremost, starting with Brother Martin, obviously a game last week where they lost to a better team, and yet the game could have been more competitive. They simply weren't able to finish some opportunities that they had created.
You're absolutely right, Kenny. Petal, Mississippi, and not a lot of people around here are going to know about them, but they're a very talented team, very similar, actually, it looks like, to this Warren Easton team. A lot of athletes on the edge, able to spread you out, a lot of vertical routes, and spread the ball out, and they are very tough on any defense. Brother Martin last week got really behind the 8 ball early. They allowed an early touchdown to Petal. And then Brother Martin had a nice drive going, and they threw an interception that led to another quick touchdown. And on the ensuing kickoff, they fumbled and led to a 20-0 deficit probably about halfway through the first quarter. Like you mentioned, Kenny, they kind of fought back in the second quarter, had a couple chances inside the red zone 2 or 3 times, and just couldn't put the ball in the end zone, couldn't get enough points to get back in the ball game, and unfortunately just couldn't overcome that deficit to make it a competitive game in the second half.
Chad, your take on what you saw from the Crusaders a week ago?
He started off extremely slow. The offense, I think, what do we count on the field, Lenny? They might have been on the field 6 plays in the first quarter, I think.
It was not a lot.
Didn't really have a shot. The defense, after the first drive, I felt like they played really well. But, the offense really didn't help them out. I think one of those drives in the end zone, Lenny, they didn't put in the end zone. They were on the 1-yard line.
Right.
And, we got to convert. We got to make conversions. We saw we saw 4 wide receivers all last week. We're going to probably see 4 wide receivers all this week. So our skill guys are going to be tested. Eric Lasserre and Ryan Alfonso. I know Ryan Alfonso got banged up last week. Hopefully he's back this week. He had an interception. But we definitely need those guys to step up because they know Warren Easton saw the film and where Brother Martin really they stuffed the run and they held tight on a couple second down, third downs. But when Petal needed a big play, they aired it out. And I got to think Warren Easton's going to do the same tonight, Lenny.
Well, they're a really good football team. The Eagles, under Jerry Phillips, reached the semifinals a year ago in the Class 4A playoffs, and they played Neville tough at Neville, lost 26-13 in that game, and here they are a year later, and they're returning 14 starters, 7 on each side of the ball, and you're talking about a tremendous quarterback. I don't know that you're going to see a better one this year, guys, than junior Lance Legendre. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, can really throw it, can really run it. He is the consummate dual-threat quarterback, throws a beautiful ball. Chad's going to appreciate that since he has no clue what that is. And of course, I didn't
even mention that. That's him. He said it this time, not me.
He has, and I'm just having fun with him already.
Kenny.
You're welcome. He has a host of terrific receivers, including Johannes Tyler. He's the big one at 6'4", 190, a senior. And then you got Sticks Jones, Sheldon Sticks Jones. Both of them are highly recruited players. Jones 5'10", 170, a senior. And for good measure, Kyam Green at 6'1", 200 pounds, and a junior is really good as well. Damian Tate's a tremendous athlete, major Division I player, will play both ways. Superb defensive back, but really a good receiver as well. For good measure, they have terrific running backs in Larry Barabino, the senior, and Ashad Clayton, the sophomore. And their offensive line is huge. And other than that, they got nothing going for them.
Yeah, other than that, how did you enjoy the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
And Jerry Phillips is one of the really good people you'll ever meet in this business. I covered Jerry when he was a terrific player at Endicott at Tulane. And when Tony Hall left to go to Kansas, Jerry got the job here at Easton. And everybody's happy to see that because he's truly one of the nicest people you'll meet in the business. And Brother Martin's hoping he'll be nice tonight because the Warren Easton team is very good. And when you look at the defenses for both teams last week, Brother Martin's defense obviously had a major test. A lot of young players on the defensive side.
They did have a lot of young players, Kenny. They had some guys, especially in the defensive front, and not a lot of experience up there. They did have some experience in the back end with Matty and Ryan Alfonso, Brendan Brown, Ben Chaplin. Those guys had a lot of playing time from last year, but they, like you mentioned, a lot of young guys, a lot of juniors and sophomores playing this year for the first time. It takes a little time to kind of get your feet under you there, and I tell you, playing a Petal team that's very talented, that was also playing their third game of the year, did not make for an easy transition into this season. But they're really going to have to step up tonight. This is a very, very talented Warren Easton football team. And I tell you what, looking at this schedule here, Chad, it doesn't get any easier for the Crusaders. You got Hawnville next week, followed by John Curtis, and then St. Augustine.
Yeah.
So, they're going to have to grow up real fast here.
Yeah, and we were talking about it before we came on, but you can't come out of the gate and spot the other team 20 points. And I don't mean, Petal did a great job of coming down the field, but, the fourth play of the game, we throw that interception, that kind of sets the tone. And it took us a quarter and a half before we started playing competitive football. So, no, none of these teams are going to be gimmies. We jump right into the season. The first 5 games it's like the accelerator is going to be down the whole time. So we're going to have to come out the gate quick tonight.
We'll take a time out here. When we return in a moment, we'll hear from Brother Martin head coach Mark Bonice. You are listening to and watching Brother Martin football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and, of course, watching live at CrescentCitySports.com.
Over the course of the years they can.
This will be Coach Bonice for Warren Easton. Coming up in 3, 2, 1. Ken Trahan with Brother Martin head coach Mark Bonice. Mark, always good to be with you, and a big test tonight. Obviously, last week was kind of an indoctrination of sorts. You faced a really good football team in Petal, and it's kind of out of the fire and into the frying pan because you've got another one here in Warren Easton tonight.
Yeah, we do, and I'll keep saying this. We believe this. In order to take our program to the next level, got to play great competition. So, I keep saying this. We're in the playoffs, and for us, we've got to grow up, and in order for us to grow up in certain spots, we've got to play very stiff competition. We believe that. The teams that we've lost in the past in the playoffs have been very athletic, so we believe that we need to play really good, really athletic teams early in the season to make us better and have us grow up fast.
The better team won last week, and yet you had opportunities in that game to make that a more competitive game. Just some things that broke down for you where it didn't allow you to put more points on the board.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. We always talk about team, tough, compete, finish. Finish being one of our program principles. Offense, defense, special teams, we didn't finish. Defensively, we stopped them, a couple times, but couldn't get off on certain third downs. Offensively, we moved the football. In the second quarter, we dominated the quarter and came away with only 7 points. So I don't want to say we're young because in certain spots we're not. But the places that we are young, we have to understand what it means to finish and just get better from week to week.
Strengths, you expect your offensive line to be good. I know you always do. And your quarterback, obviously, coming back from last year.
Yeah, we do. And I can tell you this, a running back spot, although we were playing with a freshman and 2 sophomores, they've grown up a lot since the Jamboree to now, so I'm happy with those guys right now. Receivers, we got to get better receiver play. We got some small, shifty guys that I think are going to be good. They just have to grow up fast defensively. Got to get better play out of our defensive line this week. I think our linebackers struggled a little bit last week because of a defensive line play, and then our secondary with only 1 returner. We got to get better fast. And we're going to be challenged tonight in the air. Fairly bunch.
Try to prevent the big play, I guess, would be the theme tonight.
Try to prevent the big play and capitalize on any mistakes that we cause.
Mark, best of luck to you this evening.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Mark Moniz, the head coach of the Brother Martin Crusaders on tonight's game, and indeed, out of the fire into the frying pan would be appropriate based upon the level of competition you're talking about, going from the team they played last week in Petal to Warren Easton here tonight. Brother Martin's a visiting team here tonight, so they'll be on the visiting side. Warren Easton, the home team, and Brother Martin's adorning their white jerseys, white pants, the crimson numerals, and the gold trim, and of course the crimson helmets. Warren Easton, well, good luck with the numbers. That's all I can say. That's what we're dealing with. I'll let them laugh. Great, you can laugh. That's all.
Yeah, no chance.
We're going to follow your lead.
Yeah, we'll just be trying to call numbers and hoping for the best. We know Andre's the quarterback, so we'll watch him run it and throw it and hope we get the other guys right. Warren Easton is adorned, and I say that with all sincerity. I have nothing but respect for their program. And like I said, I love Coach Phillips, and they have a tremendous program, but the LHSA has to do something about these uniforms. They need to enforce the policy. It's the second game in 3 days. I've done a game where there's no chance in the world that you're going to identify numbers unless you're using binoculars, and even then it's a challenge. So that's what you're dealing with, and that's just terribly unfortunate because you'd like to call the right names and give the kids credit.
And these kids want to hear their names on the radio.
Well, not to mention I want to write a story that
That's
the right guy.
Right.
Quarterback Lenny Sumich, comma.
Wow, that'd be ugly. That'd be very ugly.
You just had a shiver.
Yeah, the Warren Easton uniforms, purple. They've got black. They've got purple numerals that are trimmed in, I don't know.
Gray.
That are gray, black, whatever. So you hope for the best in terms of being able to figure out who's who and what's what and so forth. And I'm just going ahead and stating that early and making my excuses early on. So no excuses for losers. I'll try my best. So the coin flip taking place right now. The captains meeting at the center of the field on a gorgeous night. We'll tell you all about it here coming up momentarily in terms of what the weather conditions are, because they are superb. Warren Easton has won the toss, and the Eagles have deferred. So they're going to kick off. Brother Martin will get the ball first, and Warren Easton will defend the south goal here at Tad Gormley Stadium, where the lights are shining bright as we speak. The weather conditions, it doesn't get any better. Clear skies, the temperature is 81 degrees, the relative humidity just 53%, and the wind is out of the northeast at 9 miles an hour, so a little bit of a works out early on in this game in terms of if it has any impact. Brother Martin had the wind at its back initially. Of course, the new playing field here at Tad Gormley Stadium is a delight. It's a much better surface. You can read the numbers. That's wonderful. We're happy about that. And, of course, right now we're getting set for the national anthem. Colors will be presented. The Warren Easton Eagles High School Band will perform our national anthem as fans are being asked to rise. And we're ready for the playing of the national anthem by the Warren Easton High School Marching Band. Easton Eagles marching band with the national anthem as we get set for action here. Ken Trahan with Lenny Sumich, Chad LaRose, rights on to get it started. Warren Easton, great history. Won state championships in 1921 when Chad was about 10. I remember 1942
good game.
when Lenny was about 20.
Man.
And they also lost in the state championship game in 1936, 1937, and 1958, and most recently in 2014, 28-27 to Neville in the Dome in a great football game.
That was a
Tony
great game.
Hall, who's now at Kansas. Brother Martin, of course, state champions in 1971. The Crusaders played for a state title in 1989 with a couple of guys were on the team. I don't know. I think they carried the water or something of that nature.
I think we're getting closer every year. Huh?
tell you what.
That score, I think we're getting closer to beating Ouachita.
We're 2 plays away.
What is it now? 35-32? Is that the final score now? I think next year we'll beat them.
Crusaders reached the state semifinals a year ago. Lost to Scotlandville and
Tough game.
made the semifinals in 2014, the quarterfinals in 2015. We're just about set for action. Brother Martin will get the ball first. Rashad Clayton is the kicker for Warren Easton. Brother Martin will drop a pair of receivers deep to get this one started. We're just about set for action as Lasser is one of those back in the deep position. All teed up right on the middle of the field.
Actually, you're looking at that, Kenny. Those 2 numbers are two-tone for
I mean,
Warren
it's
Easton.
brutal. Kick is
purple and
short
gold.
toward the sideline. It's dropped out of bounds. That's a
man.
ball that you've got to let go. It's heading toward the sideline, and instead, Brother Martin will be pinned deep in its own territory at the 18-yard line to start with the football for the first time with John Paul Pierre, the quarterback, back to start for a second consecutive year after a solid season a year ago. And they'll be running back by committee, as we talked about earlier, and go with the hot hand. And, of course, we'll detail the offensive line and receivers in a moment. Brother Martin will open in the backfield with Chris Smith as the running back behind Pierre. Twin receivers to the right. Wide side of the field on 1st and 10 from the 18. Pierre will give it to Smith. Smith across the 20 and then bent backwards as he gets just across the 20-yard line. So gain of about 2, maybe 3. It's going to be second down.
And that looks like the same game plan as last week, Lenny. We saw a good dose of Smith between the tackles. You know, you get those big guys, Bro and Grubbs, to really lean on those big defensive tackles of Warren Easton. But, you know, we'll see. We'll be running back by committee tonight. We'll see how long Smith stays in the game.
2nd and 7 at the 21. Pierre wants to throw. Retreating, rolling right, heavy pressure.
Throw back,
Throws
wide
back
open.
wide.
Oh, you got it. Did he catch it?
Come on,
And he had to step out of
They
bounds
got
and
it.
caught it to the 40-yard line. A first down for
He'd
Smith.
still be running
but
right
if
now.
the throw would have been a little bit better, he'd have walked into the end zone. Still a 19-yard gain and a first down Crusader.
He was so wide open, Chad, I'd still be running. If he thrown that ball right.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it was a great play. It was play
Great
action.
design, fooled him there,
Play
that's
action
for
to
sure.
Smith, and he ran up the left sidelines, and there was no linebacker, no defensive back that went with him. So good play. I wish it could have been executed a little better.
19 yards and a first down to the 40-yard line. Snap it. Run Smith to the left, cuts in, and gains 3.
Yeah, Smith was the workhorse last week, Chad. He they all had carries, but he probably had at least 50% of those carries as the running back by committee.
He did, and I know they really kept him in for most of the first half. We didn't see a lot of those other running backs in the second half, so you wonder if that was a game plan or if that was a fatigue issue. But I'm hoping to see J.P. Pierce be a more effective running part of this offense tonight.
Second down. Pierce lines up in shotgun on 2nd and 7. Man in motion into the formation. Run a counter play left with Smith, trying to get outside. Good stiff arm.
Boy.
Flag down.
Oh.
He gets out near midfield. Of course, anytime you see that, you think holding.
Yeah.
Nice stiff arm by Smith to get the extra yards there.
It really was, and compared to last year, Lenny, it looks like he bulked up. He definitely got a lot bigger. I know last year we saw him running, and he ran hard, but he was so frail. This year it looks like he's got a little power in him.
It is holding against the Crusaders, and see where they mark it off. It's going to be from the line of scrimmage, it appears, which will be a 10-yard penalty, which will make it back to the, let's see where they ended up putting it down.
Going to negate that reception.
Now
There you
walk
go.
back up a step. It's going to be an 11-yard infraction. So to the 32, it's going to be 2nd and 18.
Yeah, tough break on that one. They had looked like they had very close to a first down, and instead of moving the chains and be back really behind the chains here at 2nd and 18. So makes it a little more challenging for this Crusader offense.
Pierce will line up once again in shotgun with a trip set right. Here's the snap, fakes the handoff, wants to throw the slant, and he's got it to the 45-50, goes 45, 40, and down to about the 39-yard line. First down, Crusaders. Brady Faust on the reception. Boy, it took a perfect throw. He threaded the needle down.
I was just thinking the exact same thing, Kenny. I looked at it, about 3 Warren Easton defendants around that ball, and I was expecting almost the ball to go the other way for a pick 6, but he did a great job, Pierce did, in getting the ball to Faust. Made a great catch and big yardage after the reception for first down.
Yeah, the linebacker actually made a break on the ball, and it looked like for a second he could have got his hands on it.
Gain of 29 till the Warren Easton 39, and a first down for Brother Martin.
Backfield.
Pierce wants to throw again. Pump fakes, looks back the other way. Nice comeback route, and it's caught. Good job looking off the initial receiver, and then a nice job of coming back to the ball by Faust, who makes the catch for a 5-yard gain.
It's got to be a big confidence boost for Pierce, Lenny. Last week we saw him the first pass attempt, he was picked off for about a 30-yard return. This time, tonight, he's 3 for 3 and got the Crusaders in a good position.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job so far, spreading the ball around. Faust has made a couple good receptions, and Crusaders are on the move.
2nd down and 5. Takes the snap, keeps it himself, cuts it in, dives down to about the 32, picks up 2 the hard way. Going to bring up about 3rd and 3 as Pierce runs for 2.
Now, that's going to keep the defense honest. Hopefully we see a lot more of that, but it keeps the backside honest. Pierce has definitely got to, if that's a call or even if that's a read, he's reading that backside end. Pierce has got to, not only just carry through with the fake, but he's got to pull the ball and get some yards. It wasn't a big game, but it's going to keep that backside defense honest.
3rd down and a long 3. Pierce looks over to the sideline. Well, just inside the 33. We'll call it 3rd and 4.
About 9 men in the box on defense.
Still looking over to the side. Play clock to 4. They're not going to get this off. 3, 2, 1.
And
they did get the timeout. Mark Moniz got to the official.
Yeah, you don't.
Time.
That's a big. You're in a position now. You get the 33-yard line. You don't want 3rd and 3 is a lot more manageable than 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
You're definitely in 4-down territory here too, where you are. So you really have 2 plays to get this first down. You don't make it more challenging on yourself. But I agree with you, Che, what you mentioned a second ago. Last week, Pierce didn't seem to really want to run the ball too much. He did a couple times. I won't say hesitantly, but looks like they're trying to get him a little more involved in the running game. And like you mentioned, that's going to keep him honest, keep the defense honest, I should say, and make it a little more challenging for the Warren Easton Eagles.
Yeah, it's going to help out Chris Smith too. You don't have 9 guys that are in the box keying on number 20. They got to account for number 8. So, you just every now and then, if he can pull that ball and get some positive yards, that's going to pay dividends for the Brother Martin offense.
You don't have, this is a completely different offense than you had a year ago. Last year, you had obviously Bruce Jordan Swilling, who was just an incredible running back, who could go anytime and go 80 yards and score. You also had Jeremy Singleton, a 4-year starter, and also Pat Hughes, who on the outside, who could make a play at any time. So this is a much different offense. It's going to have to more grind it out than
Here's a 3rd and 4 from the 33, and Pierce wants to throw, and it's
catch it.
Incomplete. As the defender dropped into coverage, and doing a nice job was Jamal Sam, the junior strong safety, who got in the way there and broke it up. So it's going to be 4th down.
You're going to go for it?
And you go for it here on 4th and 4. It's not too far for a field goal. It would be 51 yards. So the Crusaders will go for it on 4th and 4 from the 33-yard line.
Yeah, unfortunately, Turner just couldn't hold on to the ball. If he had held on to it, definitely would have been first down yardage and possibly a lot more.
There's 4th and 4 from the 33.
Warren Easton, Darren Brother Martin, throw the ball.
Single cover that side.
Snap it, wants to throw it. Heavy pressure, has to get it off and incomplete. Well, the pressure really affected that, and the throw just a little bit off the mark as he tried to get it to Faust on another comeback route, and Warren Easton will take over on downs after a promising drive for Brother Martin.
Yeah, and if Warren Easton stays in that defense, Lenny, they were locked up on the outside. The safeties were playing about 6 yards off the ball. Brother Martin might be airing the ball out a little more than expected. But they do have, the wide receivers are open. Pierce is getting to him, throwing the ball well. So we'll see what happens throughout the game. But Brother Martin turning the ball over in that series.
Yeah, not a bad drive. Obviously didn't end like you wanted to with points, but move the ball, got themselves just flipped the field here and put the defense on, and let's see what happens.
Lance Legendre, the brilliant junior quarterback,
No backs.
sets them down with no backs. They go to a 5-receiver set immediately.
Yeah.
Wide side, left side of the field. Drops back in the shotgun on 1st down and 10. Motion across the formation left. Legendre's going to throw it over there. It's caught. Great job.
Nice
by
play.
Alfonso, who blows up the receiver on the play, who was number 26, Larry Barabino. Great play by Alfonso.
I'll tell you, Matthew Alfonso fought through the block, read it perfectly, and able to stop that for a big loss there. That was a big hit and a big play by the Crusader defense.
And that's a play that hurt us last week, Lenny. We saw the wide receiver screen that Petal ran against us 4 or 5 times, and we had no answer for it.
I'm sure Warren looked at that
practiced
film.
it, yeah. And I'm sure Brother Martin practiced it this week.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 at the 30. Wide side, left side. 3 receivers to that side, 2 to the left. Motion into the formation again. And the speed sweep running left to the short side is bottled up. Short gain on the play to about the 32, perhaps the 33. Rashad Clayton on the carry. And a good job by Brother Martin to stop him for a gain of 2.
Yeah, actually, what they did is they motioned the receiver from the right side into the short side of the field there, Chad, just to kind of sweep around the end and didn't have a lot of room. And,
John Burkhardt looked like he did a good job of using the boundary as his as the 12th defender.
yeah.
And that's a great play, but you want to run it to the wide side of the field, not necessarily the short side.
3rd and 11 from the 32. And they run it straight up the middle, which is really a surprise.
Interesting.
And go nowhere. And that's going to bring about a punt.
Please do
It's
that
not
to
at
us.
all.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Would have expected there is DeWitt Johnson had the carry,
Right.
and he stuffed gain of 1 in a punting situation.
I'm sure Coach Benice and Coach Leday would be happy if they did that all night long.
Tell you what, if I'm a quarterback and I have a 6'4" receiver, I'm tempted to audible that play and run something a little bit different. But, Brother Martin's defense.
Good job in that
Very
first
impressive.
series.
Barabino to punt it away. Stands at about his 16. Close
back to
snap,
him.
fielded it on a bounce, but got it off. Line drive
Watch
kick.
the bounce.
It's going
Get
to
away
bounce
from
at the
it.
40, the 35, and down to about the 34-yard line. Unless it was touched further up the field, which it might have been. The official looks like he wants to mark it up at about the 39. Might have hit a Warren Easton player, and it certainly looks like that's the case.
Warren Easton was fortunate to get that punt off because the long snapper there really bounced it straight back to the punter, and luckily for the Eagles, it actually bounced right into the punter's hands. That easily could have been a disaster for Warren
We're
Easton.
sitting right next to the Brother Martin coaches, and they noticed that too. So we'll see if they if they need to, and the time's right, we might have a block punt on.
6:42 to play in the first, and no score. Each team with a possession. Brother Martin gets it back with very good field position at its own 40-yard line. And a different running back in the game on this series for the Crusader. Looks like Rouge in the backfield.
They were very impressive last week too.
Yeah.
On 1st and 10, snap it. He gets the ball inside and gets belted after a gain of 2 and driven straight back and hard by Christian Trudeau.
Welcome to varsity football, Rouge.
You think? Gain of 2 at 2nd and 8.
No, he did. The little freshman came in and did a good job relieving Smith of a series of 2 in the first half. Very promising, very good in between the tackles.
2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Approaching the water break as we get near the 6-minute mark. Pierce the snap, gives to Rouge to the short side left, nowhere to go. Knocked down for no gain, out of bounds, and he just had no room to run there. Joshua Tassan Green, the junior linebacker, was there to make sure he had nowhere to go, and that should get us to the water break at the 5:58 mark with no score. It's 3rd down and 10, and they're calling him over. There it is. There's your water break.
There's your water break. I'll tell you what, Chad, there's a lot of speed on this Warren Easton defense, too. You're going to have trouble getting to the corners, and Brother Martin doesn't have the size or speed that they've had in the past in the running back position. I'm not saying these kids can't do a great job, but it's going to be a little bit tougher sledding than it has in the past 2 or 3 years.
Any linebacker named Josh Bulldog Williams, I'd be hesitant to run at or around. It seems like he was born to play
Sounds
linebacker.
like born to be linebacker.
Right. But no, Warren Easton, Brother Martin, I did notice they're trying to run to the outside. They're trying to establish that edge, but against a team like Warren Easton, they just got a lot of team speed on defense. So it'll be interesting. I think Brother Martin's going to find more success doing the play action, those quick slants, the quick 3-step drops, and hitting those receivers. And like I said, I'm going to keep saying it, but Pierce definitely has to take more of a role pulling the ball and running around the end. I think just getting those 4 or 5 yards a pop, I think that's going to pay down the road.
Yeah, I think it's be one of those situations where I think the pass is going to set up the run.
Right.
John Paul Pierce is in shotgun on third down and 8 from the 32. Takes the snap, fakes it, wants to throw. Tremendous pressure. Ooh. Just threw it away as he got drilled. That was a jailbreak. 2 purple shirts all over him. He had no chance to do anything there and had to just throw it away.
Yeah, that play was a little bit too long to develop. But I tell you what, if you know, we saw the last 2 third downs, Lenny. It seems like Warren Easton brought the house. You might want to think about a screen or a draw to kind of negate that heavy rush.
Yeah, they definitely came very hard, bringing extra rushers on both those last third downs.
So it's 4th down in a punting situation.
Wow.
Punt is away. It is a low kick that bounces at the 33 and goes sideways and goes out of bounds. So Warren Easton will get it back with 5:43 to play in the first quarter. Still scoreless here from Chad Gormley.
Yeah, I tell you, it's promising too, Lenny. It looks like all receivers are getting open. I mean, even though we had a lot of pressure and they're bringing the house, Warren Easton's not playing with a safety, basically. Everybody's up on the line of scrimmage. Our wide receivers are getting loose. If we can get Pierce some time,
you just got to get him the ball. He can. He's throwing the ball pretty well so far, especially when he's had time. Just something they need to be a little more consistent with.
From the 32 with 5:43 to play in the first. And no score. Warren Easton starts this possession. And they're going to run it inside and double kept it. And look out. Great job on the fake and a great run. You see the speed of Lance Legendre as he breaks it into the open and gets a first down to the Brother Martin 46-yard line. Beautiful fake. A gain of 22 yards.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do with an option type offense, Lenny. I mean, you got to keep that defense honest, but good job by the quarterback of reading that backside in, pulling it, and getting positive yards on the left side.
You're giving Ryan Alfonso credit for saving the touchdown on that play.
No doubt. Going to bring that up. 1st and 10.
That should be motion.
This time he runs it inside left and getting down to about the 41. A nice gain of 5 yards on first down is Clayton. So Shady Clayton getting 5. It's going to be 2nd down and 5 yards to go.
And opposite what Brother Martin's wanting to do, Lenny, Warren Easton looks like they might be establishing the run to set up the pass.
Yeah, they really haven't thrown the ball.
Right.
Through that one screen to start.
Brother Martin safety is starting to creep up.
On 2nd down, there's a big hit in the backfield.
Nice play.
Tremendous penetration and no chance in the world for the running back who got the handoff and then got introduced very, very loosely. Barabino got absolutely blown up on the play by Jackson Grubbs, and it's going to be 3rd down as a result.
I'll tell you what, Jackson Grubbs almost took that handoff right there, guys. And that with 2 or 3 other of his defensive line mates there to help finish the tackle. Great job by that front guys.
271, he showed some...
a little nimble, huh?
Very nimble, very nimble.
3rd and 9 from the 45, fakes it. Legendre wants to throw it. He's going to go deep. He's got a man open. The throw is there. Yeah. It's caught for a touchdown. Yeah. Touchdown, Warren Easton, 45 yards. Perfect throw from Legendre to Johans Tyler. The 6'4" wideout scores, and the Eagles jump on top by the score of 6-0.
You knew it was coming, Lenny. Yeah. Just a little stutter step, and Lasser bought on it and just bit up one step.
Couldn't make up for it.
Yeah, and Legendre just blew right past him. And we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when. And that's exactly what Warren Easton seemed like they did. They were running the ball to set up the pass, and it just stung Brother Martin for 6.
Yeah, just simple go right, a little stutter step like you mentioned, and he got behind Lasser by 2 or 3 steps and was able to get the ball to him for the touchdown.
Extra point attempt is coming from Jamal Sam. And he has knocked it to the left. No good.
Old style first straight on kicker.
Don't see that much. That's an issue for this team. Time out on the field. 4:19 to play. First quarter. Warren Easton 6. Brother Martin nothing. Back in a moment. This is Brother Martin Football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and, of course, watching live at CrescentCitySports.com. kickoff sails out of bounds from Warren Easton. And Brother Martin, as a result, will get very good field position at the 35-yard line after the Warren Easton touchdown. 4-play, 68-yard drive. Minute 24 off the clock. And Lance Legendre connected.
Yeah, it looks like that. Lenny, we were saying it before the game. That's going to be Brother Martin's Achilles heel is that big play. And when we have our cornerbacks at Eric Lacerra at 5'11" and Ryan Alfonso at 5'9",
it's tough.
2 weeks in a row. And I know Hornville, they always bring big wide receivers, and down the line those guys are going to struggle. And we're sitting in coverage in a third and long play. You know it's coming. But teams are going to be targeting them. It's not just going to be Warren Easton. It's going to be the rest of the year.
So Brother Martin will play 1st and 10 at their own 35. Get good field position. They had that the last 2 times they've had the football. Snap it. Keep it. Pierce forward to the 37 for 2.
I was going to say, it's going to be interesting how the Crusaders decide to attack this Eagle defense on this 3rd drive here, Chad. They kind of threw the ball in the 1st series, kind of tried to run on the 2nd series, come out with a run again, a quarterback keeper on an option. I think they'd be better served here almost to kind of throw the ball and loosen this defense up a little bit. You got 9 guys in the box, no safety up high.
Yeah, and Mark Bonice's trademark's just to move the chains. But
2nd and 7, run it inside. There's a hole. It closes as Smith crosses the 40 and gets to the 41. He did get 4 yards on the play. Nice little hole to start with there.
Yeah, not bad at all. Good job by the offensive line there to open up a little crease for Smith to run through. Puts it in a manageable 3rd and 4 situation.
Yeah, and our big offensive linemen, Fleetwood and Bro and Grubbs and Aurelia, those guys, they're more effective as the chains move and they start wearing on you a little bit. Those guys can grade out those defensive linemen, but we can't go 3 and out, especially not out there.
No, not a touchdown.
We got to get positive yards here. We got to move the chains.
3rd and 4 from the 41. Here's the snap, retreats under pressure, throws it outside, caught by Smith. Can't get there. Great job in the open field to bring him down short of the 1st down. And it's going to be a 4th down kicking situation. Really nice play by Tyree Tanner.
Tell you what, for the third time on 3rd down, Warren Easton's brought extra defenders, bringing a blitz in there. Actually, no, I think he got a punt here. But, Pierce did a good job of getting the ball out. Still didn't have a lot of time, and give Warren Easton defender credit for stopping him, making the tackle right before the 1st down marker.
Yeah, credit Tyree Turner, the cornerback, for making that stop. That's hard. Smith was out in the flat, and he actually turned the corner a little bit. Turner made a good open field tackle. But, Brother Martin is seeing these wide receivers, these backs at the backfield. They do have openings.
Alfonso to punt it away. And he sees it, and he's got the first down. 45, 40, and a first down to the 39-yard line.
Good call.
Well done. Alfonso read it, made the reaction beautifully, and gets the first down all the way to the Easton 39-yard line, a gain of 18.
I tell you what, I don't think that was a called play. I think that they were down the coverage to cover that punt, and Alfonso saw something and saw that he had the open and decided to make the call, and they had a great job picking up the first down.
And Brother Martin, like we see so many college and high school teams do now, Lenny, they have 3 up-backs that are kind of like protectors, the punter, and they almost acted like a shield. Everybody from Warren Easton tried to go around those 3 up-backs, and Alfonso just ran, and he wasn't touched for 20 yards down the field.
Yeah, Alfonso has a defensive back and move, and he actually plays a little running back, so he can run. He's used to handling the ball and actually can run pretty well.
Great job to get the first down.
Good job.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Going to throw it outside. That's
nice
caught. Turns it upfield.
There you go.
30 and close to the first down near the 29-yard line. Well done on the throw and catch, and that's Michael Faust on the reception.
Yeah, we were saying that last series, Lenny, before we got the first down. Brother Martin, Mark Bernice, they're starting to see some gaps. Warren Easton's playing that tight coverage on the outside. Those defensive backs are turning and running with receivers, leaving that flat wide open. And Pierce is doing a good job of getting the ball to those receivers and the running backs for 2nd and 1.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1 at the 30. And they run Smith inside. He'll get the first down to the 27-yard line. A gain of 3. First down, Brother Martin.
Yeah, nice run by Smith. Good job by the left side of the offensive line, opening up a little crease there for him to get through and moving the chains. Good job mixing it up so far in this series.
Absolutely. That's what we saw Petal do a lot to our defense last week, Lenny. They would hit that wide receiver screen on the outside, and they'd come back with that dive in the middle. and that really stretches those outside linebackers because they have to kind of be the tweener player. But that in and out style offense, it's working for Brother Martin.
1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Snap it. Going to run it to the left, but they blew it dead. And obviously, pre-snap penalty is coming, man. We want to tell you that what a bank. Do you want one that was ranked among the tops in the nation for business banking? Hancock and Whitney Bank has you covered with nearly 200 locations across the Gulf South. So stop by today. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com. Our thanks to Hancock Whitney for their support. The false start puts it back 5 yards.
Yeah, that's one thing, though, that really can't afford to do is kind of get behind the chains and penalties. It's going to be tough enough sledding against this Warren Eastern defense. You don't want to make it harder on yourself.
Yeah, we saw some costly penalties last week that put our defense in a very precarious situation.
1st and 15 as a result from the 32-yard line. Motion Faust into the formation.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
So flags come down again. Pierce is pointing at Warren Easton. It looked like Brother Martin moved, though.
I don't think they're going to buy that one.
No.
Hey, two guys. Look at the right tackle and the left guard. Both moved on that play. So something happened with the step.
Unless they're calling.
Unless they're calling something, yeah, because that's what Mark Moniz is pointing vociferously at the defensive front, saying that they're doing this, and the officials are discussing it. So we'll get the call here.
Nope.
It's going to be a false start on Brother Martin. 2 in a row, and it's 1st and 20.
Okay, explain this to me, guys. The ball was at the 27-yard line, and it was two 5-yard penalties, and now it's 2nd and 21 because the ball's at the 38.
That makes no sense at all.
I don't get that.
It was a 6-yard penalty is what it was. Yeah. I don't understand that at all. I keep playing by play, and it was at the 27.
Yeah,
so.
I'm looking at the chains. Explain this to me.
Pierce under heavy pressure again, just retreating and just throwing it away. I mean, that was a total whiff.
He didn't get the ball
flag
past the line of scrimmage.
Because he didn't get it past the line of scrimmage. Without naming names, that's just a total whiff by one player up front.
Yeah, he was there, couldn't do anything. Yeah, he was in his face before he could even move.
I didn't think it was a blitz. I think it was just
it was just a missed walk. I watched it.
Well, it's unfortunate. He had a drive going here after the fake punt, and he had ball deep in Warren Easton territory, and 2 penalties and a blown assignment and an intentional ground is going to put you way, way behind the chains.
And it's a loss of down as well.
Loss of down. And this is what we talked about before the game, Lenny. At the pregame talk, we were saying, Brother Martin can't be its own worst enemy, and right now it is. It's, Warren Easton's too good of a team to where, you're threatening on their 35-yard or 27-yard line, and now you're back across midfield, and you're all the way back
to the 36-yard
line. Yep.
It's just you can't do that.
27 yards on the penalty.
What play you calling, Lenny?
On 2nd and 45.
What play you got in the repertoire?
8-12 dive.
Cost him 27 yards.
52-guard trap.
4 penalties, 48 yards already on Brother Martin. Going to run it right with Smith. Cuts inside, took a big hit, goes down. This defense moves very well.
Looked like there's almost a little extracurricular activity downfield there. Be careful on that. Their officials are much, much tighter calling things these days.
Smith gets a couple yards to the 38. So that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one quarter, our score is Warren Easton 6 and Brother Martin nothing. And you are listening to and watching Brother Martin football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and through CrescentCitySports.com. Stadium. 6-0 Warren Easton on top. Along with Lenny Sumich and Chandler Rose, I'm Ken Trahan. Here is Pierce on third down in a bunch. Throws it underneath screen, caught by Faust. And he is knifed down right near the line of scrimmage. Great open field tackle. Just good speed on defense. Good pursuit. And just not much there as Faust is tackled after a gain of just a couple of yards in a punting situation for Brother Martin.
Yeah, just a really good open field tackle, like you mentioned, Kenny, by Warren Easton there. They had Faust there just a little bit underneath screen. Obviously, Warren Easton was playing back, preventing the big play, but you would hope to get a little bit more as they were playing back, and almost a prevent there on 3rd and a mile.
Alfonso this time does punt it away. Hits it high. Very nicely toward the sideline, but well out of bounds. And it's a matter of where they want to mark this. See where the official goes. He's just guessing at this point, and
looks like my golf swing.
Okay, I didn't think that was too bad for Brother.
I think that was a fortune. That was a fortune, considering the ball ended up in the kicking net.
Right. You get points for that?
Yeah, maybe so.
So the potent Warren Easton offense will take over.
Tell you what, Chad, this is a big series for this Crusader defense. After giving up the touchdown last series and having their offensive drive fizzle, you definitely don't want to go down 2 scores to these guys. So it's going to be real important for the Brother Martin defense to step up here.
Warren Easton at its 32-yard line with a 1st and 10. Scored in their last possession. Zandre in pistol formation. He has Barabino behind him. Takes the snap, gives to Barabino. Not much there as he runs inside left and gets about a yard, runs into some stiff opposition at about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Brother Martin's now at a 5-man front line. They were playing a 3-man front before with those outside linebackers kind of flexed out. Now I see Matthew Alfonso kind of on the line of scrimmage right now, so it's going to be interesting to see how Warren Easton, they ran the ball that play, but it's going to be interesting to see if they continue to run the ball.
On 2nd and 9, Legendre to throw. He does an out route. That's caught across the 40, and that's a 1st down. Out to about the 45-yard line on the reception is Kyam Green. 1st down, Warren Easton. That's a gain of 12.
Yeah, they had signal coverage on the outside there, Chad. Just kind of a little pitch and catch there, 5-yard stop, turn around, and defensive back couldn't recover in time. And
no,
just
and that's where the outside linebacker,
easy reception.
He's on the line of scrimmage, so he's not helping out on that play.
Quick snap. Give it to Barabino, trying to get it outside left. Looking at the corner. There's a flag comes down. Barabino gets 5, 6, 7, but hold everything.
That's going to come back and it's going to be behind the line of scrimmage, too, so it's going to be about a 15-yard, 14-yard penalty.
Tell you what, that was the longest flag I've seen a referee ever.
Tell you what, he had pretty good arm.
He was on the numbers on this side. He threw it all the way to the other hash mark. That was
strong.
That was pretty impressive.
So let's see where they mark it off from. They're going to mark it off from about the 41. So this will be a sizable penalty, as Lenny suggested. And boy, it's even bigger. Back to the 29. Wow. That's a 16-yard infraction.
I tell you what, Kenny, I don't know if you agree or not, but I don't like that rule where the hold in high school is at the spot of the infraction.
I don't either. I agree with you 100%.
I think it's just
that's a drive kill.
I mean, you're not kidding.
Give me the pro rule any day. I just don't. I agree with you 100%.
10 yards from the line of scrimmage and.
Snap it. Legendre wants to throw. He's got pressure. Steps up, avoids one. Got a block. Cuts outside. Look at this kid go. Got a block. Still alive. Man, he's special. Glides, doesn't he? Beautiful.
Effortlessly.
Beautiful. He sets up his blockers well. They had 2 Brother Martin guys dead at his tracks, and he made one sidestep move, and both of them missed.
I'll tell you what, he should have been caught for about a 5-yard loss. Instead, he picked up about 6 or 7 on the play.
8 yards on the play to the 37 for Lance Legendre. I told you, great dual threat quarterback. I don't know that there's a better one in Louisiana, and he's just a junior. 2nd down and 18. Remember, they had the big penalty. Long way to go.
3-man front here, 5 backers for Brother Martin.
Motion to the right. They'll load up that side. Legendre drops to throw. Looking, throwing. Caught across the 40. Good tackle, though, to make it a short gain to the 41-yard line as the pass was caught by number 19, Justin Lapine.
Yeah, Jabari Watts did a good job making the tackle on that play. Keep it from getting a bigger game and keeping Warren Easton in a long yardage situation here on 3rd down. This is a big 3rd down for this defense.
Yeah, that's the first time we called his name tonight with Jabari Watts. He had
big game last
big
week.
Hits, big hits. We're going to need him to step up tonight.
What's a little confusion
on 3rd down, Legendre wants to throw. He's got pressure. Rolls right. He's just going to gut it down the sideline. Everybody jockeying. That'll be an interference. Yeah, didn't know where the ball was, and that's an easy call to make because he raised his hands and bumped into him, and all the things you can't do in that situation, unfortunately. And a smart play by Legendre to see the man coverage and just get it down there.
Yeah, Alfonso had him covered. He really did have pretty
didn't
decent
turn around
coverage.
at all.
You got to turn your head. You got to make an attempt for the ball. They're going to call that every day.
Yeah, that was a legitimate call. That was interference there, and he got up to argue the point, but he's not going to win that one.
Now, conversely, while we're talking about spot fouls for everything else, here's one that at the pro level would have been a spot foul,
right.
And it would have been way down there.
On the 10-yard line, exactly right.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's 15 yards in high school, but it's not an automatic first down. So if that had been longer, it still would have been third and short. But
right.
That was third and 14.
And I want to say something about that, too, because I think that's bad. Here's a pass by Legendre in the flat, diving catch attempt made.
No,
incomplete. That's his first miss of the game. He's 4 for 5 as a result. Here's the point. If you know you're only going to get 15 yards from mugging a guy and preventing a touchdown, mug him.
Yeah.
Mug him.
Absolutely.
Look, at UCLA, that was coached.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
If you're behind the guy,
that's why I think that's a bad rule. I think that's a situation where it should be a spot foul.
Exactly.
Because you prevent, you take the competitive nature of the sport out of it by making it 15 yards.
Absolutely.
I mean, what are you teaching? 2nd and 10 at the 44. Legendre rolling left, stopping, under pressure, evades another. Look at this kid go. 50, 45, 40. He's at the 35. He cuts back. What a special athlete. First down to the 32 and a late hit coming. So it's a gain of 12, a first down and more to come.
He's good, Kenny.
Boy, is he good. Special player.
There's another penalty.
He stops on a dime, too.
I tell you what, the kid's name is escaping me now. He looks a lot like the quarterback from Scotlandville last year.
Yeah.
Last year we played.
Exactly right.
They were afraid of
Levi
him.
Lewis, huh?
Yeah, I tell you, Lewis. He was sitting back there, and they were so afraid of him beating you.
Yeah.
You just had a bit of spy. You just couldn't commit, or he would just burn you. So,
dead ball, personal foul, Brother Martin, and they're going to call unsportsmanlike on Warren Easton.
Wow.
So they should offset each other. Should be 15 one way, 15 the other. So why would you mark it off?
Yeah, is it?
Well, they got the first down.
Okay.
All this was after the play.
Right.
So it's 12-yard completion in the first down, but I'm not sure why they want to mark it off if they're going to bring it right back.
Let's see if he puts it in the same spot. This will be interesting. I'm
It
just
should
saying.
be. No, you're
should
right.
be back at the 32.
It should be. There's no need to do this.
So, yeah.
Maybe the umpire needed his exercise for the day and needed the extra steps. I'm not sure.
So there you go. They just put it
where he was.
I think they heard us. I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean, common sense,
That
right?
was
They're both 15-yard infractions. Why would you
do it?
Just step them off. 1st and 10 from the 32. Legendre. Pistol formation.
He's got another
to the left.
Come on,
to the corner. 30 and steps out of bounds at the 25. Picks up 7. Makes it look easy, doesn't he?
Very easy.
He really does. And Brendan Brown had the angle on him, but he just can't keep up. He can't keep up with Legendre.
Brendan Brown's a heck of an athlete, but he can't keep with this kid.
7 yards to the 25. Legendre 4 carries, 49 yards. 2nd down and 3 at the 25. He's ready. Ball rolls around and falling on it way back at the 46 yard line.
There was
Clayton.
definitely
was not ready for the snap. That's a 21-yard loss.
Wow, that's a big play. Big break for the Crusaders there. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened.
Warren Easton's lucky they didn't turn the ball over completely because Legendre, I think he was looking the other way.
He wasn't looking at the football, that's for sure.
Give Clayton a lot of credit for hustling back to get it. Now it's 3rd down all the way back at the 46-yard line. 3rd and 24.
He still scares me. This guy.
Well, we might see him scrambling right here.
Yeah.
We haven't stopped that play yet.
You're only going to rush 4 or 3.
Legendre the snap. Retreats and looks. He's going to throw down the middle. Perfect strike caught just short of the first down, but it's going to be about 4th and 3 as Sticks Jones made the catch.
You're talking about his legs. We saw his arm strength right there, Lenny. He threw a laser across the middle over the post for that to the receiver and almost getting that first down. But yeah, that was a pass.
And then they made it a manageable 4th and short here at the 25, so you know they're going to go for it here. Made a very, very good play offensively for Warren Easton.
21 yards.
Watch quarterback draw.
And it's 4th down and 3.
A lot of options here, that's for sure.
from the 25-yard line. They're going for it. Snap it. Legendre retreats. Looked like a hole there. They called it. And Brother Martin gets a stop anyway. So there's a very good job for the Brother Martin defense to get the stop and to get off the field. And now another flag comes down. It's holding all the way.
Yep.
So great job.
Good job
by the Crusader defense. Number 42, Benjamin Chaplin, the senior, made an outstanding play as they stop him at the 26, a loss of 1, and the ball goes over on downs to the Crusaders.
I'll tell you what, he made that play, Lenny, in open field, too, so give a lot of credit to Benjamin Chaplin. He had 5.5 tackles last week, but he came up for a big third down stop for the Crusaders today.
Yeah, Ben did a really good job on that. They would have had to go for it again on after the holding call, but made it a moot point there. The Crusaders get the ball back here, about 7.5 minutes left in the half. Hopefully we can go on a little drive here and get some points. Big stop, though, for the defense.
1st and 10 of the 26-yard line. Pierce the snap. Going to hand it off right. Shook one tackle. And then driven back after a gain of about 3 yards for Joshua Payne Morgan, who gets his first carry of the game.
Getting a little chippy down there right now.
Tell you what, Coach is trying off tackle and outside. I know Coach LeBlanc, he's a little bit different from last week. Seemed like we're more in between the tackles, but we're not making much progress outside the tackles. I don't know if he wants to stay back inside or.
Not a lot of room there. He got 3 there, so got a little bit there. But I think you got to throw the ball here, Chad, to loosen this defense up a little bit. There's a lot of athletes on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, they've been playing 9 in the box, and they're not
no
scared.
safety. They're not scared at all.
2nd down and 7 from the 29-yard line. Payne Morgan gets it again. He's belted down, and the flag comes down. Just absolutely blown up on the play by Jeffrey Holmes, the big senior defensive lineman.
They got some big boys down there.
Yeah, Chad and I were walking over to the press box before the game, and we're looking at the.
We thought it was LSU's defensive line.
The defensive line.
Well, he's 6'1", 330. Okay, so he just put him down, and
I wouldn't like to.
They're gonna wave the flag off. So, wave it off.
He didn't see something.
No gain to the 29. It's 3rd and 7.
Let's see if Warren Easton brings some outside pressure like they've been doing the last couple third downs.
Done it pretty much in every third down of the game so far. Let's see if Brother Mark can take advantage of that. Hopefully they've noticed that and can dial up a play that'll keep the possession going.
Here they come.
Again, going a little fast.
God, no,
just no chance. Too much speed.
No. You got to set up a screen. You got to get a screen.
Pierce is down.
Pierce down, and he's slow to rise. And that's even worse news here. So
yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah, he pops up.
All right. Okay, he's okay. Thank goodness.
He does get up. So.
Yeah, they're coming from the outside when you do that, Lenny. If you're going to, I mean, Brother Martin's offense isn't designed to kind of step up in the pocket and throw the ball, but you almost have to do that. Warren Easton is not letting them roll out to the outside.
No, they're so fast, it's just not time to get out, and the receivers to get out in the route. I mean, then you're going to have to dial up something, either a draw or a screen like you mentioned earlier.
A screen would work. They got 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and those 2 outside linebackers are just screaming straight up the field.
There's a sack and a loss of 14. That's a punting situation here.
Looks like we're getting the water time out here.
So we'll get the water break with 6:03 to play in the half. 6-0 Warren Easton. We have an opportunity to remind you that this portion of Crescent City Sports Prep Football is presented by Yale College Inn and Rock and Roll. College Inn, a true New Orleans farm-to-table restaurant. Open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner. And the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame. And don't forget, the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club luncheons every Tuesday at noon at Rock and Roll. Coming up this Tuesday, speakers include Ed Daniels, along with Willie Fritz, and Ronnie Rance, Emmanuel Powell, Charlie Baglio. This coming Tuesday at Rock and Roll, South Carrollton Avenue. We hope you'll be there. So here's a punt situation. Alfonso standing near his end zone after the sack of Pierce. Tate is deep to receive, standing around midfield. High snap, takes the ball down, gets it off, and over end toward the sideline and out of bounds. They're trying to make sure Tate doesn't touch the ball. It's obvious. And Warren Easton will get very good field position with 5:57 to play in the half, leading 6-0.
Yeah, they're going to get very good field position here. Fall inside the 45-yard line of the Crusaders. another stern test here for Brother Martin's defense, Chad. They really need to step up. They just did it a minute ago, and boy, if you can keep them out the end zone here late in the second quarter and go down.
They're going to try for it. Warren Easton's going to take their shots.
It's a challenge. I tell you what, it is a challenge for sure.
On first down, they're going to run it left with Barabino,
Nice
and he's
play.
bottled up and dropped cold for no gain by Booker at the 42-yard line.
Booker's having a nice little game so far, Lane. He's clogging up the middle on a couple plays. We saw him get in there.
Yeah, Booker's played a lot of football over the last 4 years. He actually
it seemed like we called his name a lot.
He started the end of his freshman year back in 2000, and I guess that's 15, and has done a good job playing that position ever since.
Second down and 10 of the 42. Snap it. Retreats to throw. A lot of time for Legendre. Deep right down the middle. Triple coverage, and it is.
We got it.
Going to be intercepted, I believe. It is indeed.
Good job.
Kicked it off as he threw it into triple coverage. Eric Lacer with the interception for Brother Martin.
We needed him to step up tonight, Lenny. He sure did on that play. Good job.
He definitely made amends for the coverage earlier where he got beat for the touchdown. Lacer did a good job. They've thrown into triple coverage there, Kenny and Chad. Really ill-advised throw. I guess he thought he could kind of get away with it, but Brother Martin's defenders at the back end did a good job stopping it.
And they've been playing cover 3 where you basically on the island on the outside, so good job by Lacer. He's been locked up on that receiver the whole time. The safety head gave him a little help underneath, but Lacer wanted that ball more than the receiver did. Good job.
Brother Martin gets it at its own 8 with 5:20 to play in the half. Still only trailing 6-0.
Yeah, I tell you what, one thing here would be nice is a big play. That's something in the first 2 games of this season you've not seen out of this Crusader offense.
From the 8-yard line on first down. On the run right, Smith barrels his way across the 10 to 11. Fought hard to get 3 yards there.
Yeah, and that's the difference between this year and last year, Lenny. We would see Bruce Jordan swirling. That play for 3 yards would have been for 6 yards, 7 yards.
And then it'd be 6 and 6, 7, that'd be 80 next thing you know.
Correct. So, and we haven't seen that breakout speed. We don't know if we have a guy that can do that this year, but they're going to try. But I'm still saying if they want to run this offense, they're going to have to implement Pierce into it a little bit more in the running game. He's going to have to pull the ball in and find a hole and get through it.
Second down and 7 from the 11-yard line. And everybody moves up front. And the ball wasn't snapped. So again, a problem.
They call a timeout?
They got a timeout called. Okay, so they got timeout called, and that prevents any penalty there with 4:35 to play in the half. Still 6-0 Warren Easton on top of the Crusaders. And of course, this is the second of 5 Brother Martin games will be on radio this year. 4 Brother Martin broadcasts. Next game will be the September 30th game with St. Augustine, which will be here on WGSO 990 AM and at CrescentCitySports.com. 2 other games on radio. 1 Brother Martin broadcast on October 28th against Shaw, 1:30 at the Shrine on Airline on WGSO 990 AM. And then a Brother Martin game that is a Rummel broadcast on October 21st at Joe Yenny on both WGSO and CrescentCitySports.com. So 5 out of the 10 regular season games for Brother Martin on air this year. And our thanks once again to Brother Martin High School, to Greg Rando and Kenny Spellman, Megan Seibenkettel, and Mark Wisniewski, the entire staff that makes this possible for us to be here. Second down and 7 from the 11-yard line. Here's a fake, going to throw it outside, and it's a bobble and a catch, and that caused him yards, and it's going to be a loss on the play. The catch made by Nick Turner, but the bobble didn't enable him to turn upfield.
Yeah, I don't know if he wouldn't have had a lot of room without the ball.
He wouldn't have much, but that certainly didn't help the situation.
Yeah, Turner came into motion, and then when the ball was hiked to Pierce, he kind of turned back outside, sprinted outside for a quick flat play. But, give credit to Warren Easton's cornerbacks. They did a good job. If I would see his number, I'd give him credit, but I can't. I don't know who in the life of me it was. But good job coming up, making an open field tackle for no gain.
It's 3rd down and 8 from the 10. Here's Pierce under heavy pressure, gets it off sideline. A lot of riding going on by the DB, but no call.
I don't think
incomplete.
I think that was good coverage.
The coaches are complaining penalty. I don't think that's a penalty.
Excellent job on the defensive side by Warren Easton. We've been getting a lot of pressure on Pierce.
I'd say every 3rd down, Kenny. Every 3rd down, he's just under such duress. He's at no time. That was probably the most time he had to throw the ball, and he had to get rid of it quickly.
You know, and I don't know why we got away from this, Lenny, but, you know, the first series we saw a lot of quick routes, quick slant routes. I think that would work in this. You know, it doesn't take any time to get the ball off, and the wide receivers are finding holes if we can get them the ball. That's the problem. They started going.
It's tougher on obvious
passes. Punch from his end zone.
Nice
It's this one high, a wobbly.
Get down there.
Kick that bounces in midfield.
45,
40, 35,
Get the ball,
30. Boy, look at this punt as it turns out.
Nice, great punt,
fantastic,
Alfonso.
all the way to the 25-yard line. 65 yards and no return. You talk about flipping the field.
Boy, you're not kidding. That's going to look great on the stat sheet tomorrow.
That does not look like my golf swing. That was straight and long. That was good. That was a great
No,
punt
good
by
job
Alfonso.
by Alfonso. He was able to get the roll. You get the roll and really, like you mentioned, Kenny, really flip the field because, I mean, you're looking at the ball, you're kicking inside your 10-yard line. You're thinking Warren Easton's going to get the ball on the plus side of the field, but instead they're all the way back to the 25-yard line with only about 3.5 minutes left in the half. So hopefully the Brother Mars defense can step up once again and keep the Eagles out the end zone.
From the 25-yard line, Legendre with the pistol formation and a man in motion. And they're going to simply run it inside, and a flag comes down. It'll be a nice run for 5 yards. But a flag down on the play, and we'll check that.
Yeah, Brother Martin went back to that 3-man front now for the defensive line, so they're dropping 5 linebackers, and they have 3 in the back end. But looks like they want them to keep everything in front of them, give them those little flat routes, give them those, let them run the ball, and let those linebackers come up and make a tackle.
5 yards on Warren Easton. Back to the 25. Only their second flag of the game for 21 yards. So first and 15 at the 20. 3:13 to play in the half. 6-0 Warren Easton on top. A little confusion offensively. 2 people look like they were moving.
Watch it deep.
Andre got deep, wide open receiver, wide open to the 40, at the 35, got him down at about the 27-yard line as Legendre finds a wide open receiver for a first down, and that again is Johannes Tyler with his second big play of the game.
Yeah, the safeties got caught.
I'm about to say it.
They motioned the offense, Warren Easton motion, and one safety went down to play cover 3. The other safety didn't come over in the middle, leaving a big wide open hole for that receiver to run.
48 yards to the Brother Martin 27. And they're going to run it inside. Big hit this time.
Come on, guys.
Still trying to get him down. Good effort to stay on his feet. It's Clayton to the 24. So he finds 3 yards in that somehow. Good hard run.
Yeah, that was unfortunate on that big play there, Chad.
Yeah, that was a bust.
That busted coverage, miscommunication somewhere, and he got way behind the defense there.
That's what happens when half the guys play cover 3, the other half play cover 4.
2nd and 7. Gendre fakes, he'll keep it. Looked like a broken play, and he just makes somebody miss. It goes out of bounds near the 20. Looked like a broken play.
It was a broken play. Somebody went the wrong direction. He still picked up 3 yards, though.
Yeah, Alfonso had
4
it,
yards.
put a juke on him.
He's
Good
so
job by the
fast.
quarterback going around and picking up yards.
Ridiculously good player.
Another 3rd down here.
It is indeed from the 21, 3rd down and 4.
Brother Martin looks like they might be blitzing from the outside.
Just
Single set back and 3 receivers set. Should be 4 down territory.
Yeah, but the kick can close.
Is the running back.
Motion.
And people move all over the place. That should be on Warren Easton.
They started getting jumpy. Brother Martin's outside linebackers started inching up, Lenny, and it looks like Warren Easton got a little jumpy.
Yeah, actually, I could see that number 77, the right tackle, moved early.
Yeah.
Looks like that light caught at just the right angle.
It reflected.
Exactly. Boy, this is another big third. Like I said before, it's 4 down territory here, but you really want to stop this drive here. If you can keep this game close going into halftime, you really give yourself a chance here. You need to be nice to get a turnover, a big play or something, but you just go. If you go down 2 scores here late in the second quarter, and Warren Easton gets the ball to start the second half, that's going to make it a little more difficult. So big series here to try to prevent Warren Easton from adding to this lead.
Eagles took a timeout, so with 2:15 to play in the half, still 6-0. Eagles have it 3rd and 9 at the Crusader 26-yard line. Boy, Tyler with 2 catches, 93 yards and a touchdown. Legendre is 6 out of 8 for 133 yards. with a touchdown and an interception, and he's rushed 5 times for 48 yards.
And I got to think, Lenny, they're going to try to hit Tyler, or at least go to him on the outside again. That big 6'4" body frame against our smaller cornerbacks. I think they're going to try to put him in an isolation situation where he goes up and gets the ball.
3rd and 9. Snap it. Wants to throw it. Rush on. He throws it into traffic. Incomplete.
Got a little bit of pressure up there. Our defensive front didn't catch the number there, but I was able to forced him to get rid of the ball a little bit sooner than I think he wanted to, and the throw was a little bit off. Puts it in 4th down situation here, and looks definitely Warren Easton keeping their offense on the field, going for it here on 4th and 9.
4th and 9, 4 down territory of the Brother Martin 26.
Watch it up top. You got
2:11 to play in the half. LeGendre takes the snap, stops, looking, retreats.
Keep him in the pocket.
He's in trouble. He gets away again. And now he'll run into a bunch of white shirts, and they stopped him.
Good job.
The Brother Martin defense pursued, and finally got him down at the 25-yard line for a loss of 4.
Give the defense a lot of credit there. They get good pressure up front, and they did a good job defending on the back end there, Chad. He had nobody to throw the ball to, and they just was able to scramble, and defense finally caught up with him.
Yeah, and the quarterback rolled out to the right, but they did have Damian Tate. He squirted out to the left. The quarterback just couldn't see him. So good. Give a lot of credit to Brother Martin for putting pressure on the quarterback, not letting him get to that receiver.
Well, the Martin defense doing a great job. Keep the Crusaders right smack in this one, only down 6 with 1:49 to play in the half. And now Brother Martin would love to be able to mount a drive, but more than that, they'd like to be able to get this clock down and make sure that Warren Easton doesn't get another shot here.
Absolutely. You don't want to give – that's a dangerous, dangerous offense, and they should really feel fortunate to only giving up 6 points so far in this football game.
That speaks volumes about Brother Martin's defense, I think. Pierce, pistol formation. Warren Easton's been really good up front on defense. On 1st down, going to run it inside, just stuck it in there and got what he could out of it, which is about a yard.
I think it's pretty
That's Rouge.
Yeah, I tell you what, Chad and Kenny, I think it's pretty obvious. Brother Martin's trying to shorten this football game.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, they know they're athletically they're outmanned. They're just trying to shorten this game and try to punch one in and try to steal this football game.
We don't have anybody that can pop it. You know,
no,
we just don't have anybody. We don't have a 1 minute and 20 second offense. We don't have a 2 minute offense really where we can single out one guy and he can break it. So
yeah,
we just got to manufacture
they're taking their
yards.
time. They're not snapping the ball less than 10 seconds on the play clock.
On 2nd down, going to run it inside with Rouge. Fights hard to the 30, and we'll be stopped there after a gain of 4.
Yeah, I think we're content if we can get the 1st down.
Warren Easton's calling timeout. Yeah, they're going to try to get something here last minute of the half. So
1 minute to play in the half. Warren Easton will take the timeout, so Brother Martin is going to have to find a play here to try to convert on 3rd down. And 4 yards to go with 1 minute left in the half. 6-0 Warren Easton on top.
Like you mentioned earlier, Chad, they haven't, besides that first series, they really did a good job spreading the ball, little quick slants, outs. They have not thrown the ball much since then. I'm not sure of what the thinking is there.
And it works good with their offense. You know, everything offense is dives in between the tackles. The play action works great with it, and they kind of got away with it with the rollouts. I don't know if the pressure up the middle had a lot to affect that, but it just seems like Pierre is comfortable with the quick routes, the quick outs, the hitches, the quick slants, as opposed to rolling out and having those long routes. We just don't have time to get the ball off.
No, you didn't. It's just tough. They're so good and so athletic up front that he doesn't have a lot of time for plays to develop, and he's got to get rid of the ball, either running for his life or has to get rid of the ball sooner than he would like to. But 3rd down here, 3rd and manageable for sure. So hopefully we can pick this up and keep this drive going, and at very least run out this clock before halftime, not have to get the ball back to Warren Easton.
3rd and a long 3 at the 31. Defense jumped into the neutral zone. They got to call it. That's the 1st down.
Yeah.
Automatic.
We'll take it.
Now, Kenny, you were mentioning how the NFL and college has different rules. I think if that would have been in the NFL, that would have been a penalty on a quarterback, because the quarterback actually took a step back and the defensive end was reading the quarterback and he jumped off sides.
Yep, if he sees that, correct.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting how same penalty, same action happens, but it goes to the defense instead of the offense.
Different levels, different rules, no question. And people get confused all the time that watch every level in terms of what are the rules, because they are quite different. That's a 1st down by penalty, and Brother Martin now with a chance to run 3 more downs. Rouge pops through a hole and gets about 4.
Oh, he almost broke that there, Chad.
It's up with 3, but that was close.
He's quick, and he's got, seems like, between the tackles, and he can run in a phone booth a little better than Smith. He's got some pop. I don't know if he has the breakaway speed, but we've seen him. We saw him last week, and we saw him tonight. He's got good pop.
2nd down and 6. The 39 clock running, 35 seconds left in the half. And Pierce wants to throw. He's going to throw it back. He has a man open, and that is caught along the sideline. And out of bounds with a first down is Smith.
Nice play, a well-designed play. Throw back there on a little wheel right there by Chris Smith there, Chad. Pierce was able to get him the ball. Unfortunately, if he had to throw it a little bit, not as high, he may be able to run a little bit with it after. But looks like the Crusaders are going to try to do something here in the last few seconds of this first half.
And actually, Pierre had Devon Moore on the other side of the field run a post corner wide open. So, yeah, we definitely finding some room on this Warren Easton defensive back.
17 yards and a first down. Fakes. He's going to throw outside for 4. Complete. Well, that was tight coverage.
They calling the flag on?
It looks like they.
No?
Well, no, they did.
Hold on.
I mean, Brother Martin's moving forward.
Yeah, pass interference.
Yeah, there it is, pass interference. So they did call it. That's going to be another Brother Martin first down, and now Crusaders will be in business here.
Still with a timeout left.
25 seconds left and a timeout left.
I didn't think that ball could have been caught.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I thought that was. We'll take it, but didn't expect that call.
Looked like tight coverage. 15 yards to the 29. On first down, Pierce. Play fakes, retreats. Pump fakes, rolls right. And he's going to be hit and drop for a sack at the 31. And they've got to use the timeout, don't they?
Yeah, good job at least getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Now you just take a couple shots. 2nd down here, take a couple shots. Maybe if you think you get inside the 15, you at least have a chance for a field goal. So you probably need another 15 yards or so. I'll tell you what, though, is interesting. It looked like originally when this drive started, Brother Martin was going to be happy just to run the clock out. But when Warren Easton called that timeout and then you got the penalty, completely changed things. And it'd be interesting to see if the Crusaders can capitalize on that little,
at least get 3 points
little shift. Yeah.
2nd sack for Warren Easton. Pierce has been under a lot of pressure in this game by that Easton defensive front, which is quite good. But we need that coming in.
They're definitely fast. They're keeping Brother Martin. Brother Martin tried to get the edge, the whole first quarter. It seemed like they tried to get to the outside with no success. Pierce is doing a good job, though, of, hitting the receivers when they are open, when he does have time. But he's been flushed out the pocket a lot of times.
That's the key, when he does have time.
Right.
So it is 2nd down and 12 from the 31 with 16 seconds left and no timeouts. Here's the snap. Stops. He's in deep trouble, and he needs to throw it away. Flag down for holding. Pass is incomplete. He did have a receiver in the area.
Too long to develop.
But a hold's going to really push them back, and it's going to leave them basically with one play.
Yeah.
It would appear. Yeah, they just can't block that defensive front protecting the pass.
No, they're having a tough time. You think Warren Easton would take the penalty for sure because of where it was well behind the line of scrimmage. So it's going to put them way, way back.
This has been a nightmarish half in terms of penalties against Brother Martin. I'll give you the numbers in a moment. Back to the 47. It's a 16-yard infraction. It's 7 penalties and 79 yards.
It's probably more than the offense they have. Not bad.
Really difficult to overcome that.
You get 2 guys
on 2nd down, 27 from the 47-yard line. Fakes it, wants to throw it, steps up under heavy pressure. He'll go down again. Sack number 3 will end the half. So Warren Easton just outstanding defensively with their pressure and able to put Pierce on the ground one more time. And that will end the first half as Warren Easton controls Brother Martin's offense and leads it 6-0 at the half over the Crusaders. We'll take the timeout here. Our halftime show coming up. Glad you've joined us. You are listening to Brother Martin Football and watching it live as well at WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and through CrescentCitySports.com.
All right, here we go. I got 8, 0, 1.
For Brother Martin, along with Lenny Sumich and Chandler Rose, I'm Ken Trahan, and we're glad you're with us tonight here on CrescentCitySports.com and also at WGSO 990 AM. And this has been an interesting game because Warren Easton has really controlled play, but they only lead by 6 points in this game, and that speaks volumes about the job that the Brother Martin defense has done thus far. Took 4 plays, 68 yards, 124 off the clock. Warren Easton scored on a 45-yard pass from Lance Legendre to Johans Tyler, and it was 6-0. The extra point was missed, and that was the scoring. There were opportunities for Warren Easton. Otherwise, Brother Martin with maybe one chance, but unable to really convert. And as a result, the Easton Eagles lead this by the score of 6-0 at the half. We owe you our halftime break. We'll take that right here. We'll return with more in a moment. You are listening to Brother Martin Football and watching live as well on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and through CrescentCitySports.com.
You know, with the exception of one blown coverage there that led to the touchdown, this Brother Martin defense has done a good job. Now they've given up yardage, but they have not broken. You know, that one little touchdown there, that was it. They've done a good job stepping up on third down and stopping drives when they needed to, and kept a very, very potent Warren Easton offense off the field. out the end zone. Conversely, on offense for Brother Martin, the biggest thing is they've been their own worst enemy, really. It's tough sledding against a very, very good Warren Easton defense, but they did a lot of penalties and just putting themselves behind the chains, and it's tough to overcome against a team that's athletically, frankly, a little bit better than you. So it's made it very, very difficult. In the second half here, I think is going to be very important. Warren Easton's going to get the ball on the opening kickoff here. Defense needs to make another stop, and the offense has to find a way to put some points on the board and put some pressure on this Warren Easton defense.
Well, I think what Brother Martin came out trying to do is smart, trying to shorten the game. But what they found out is that Easton's very tough up front on defense, and they run well on defense, so it's been very hard to run the football.
It has been. It's very hard, especially when they know that they kind of stacked that box there, Kenny. I think you're going to have to loosen them up and keep them honest. They did a good job when I think it was the first series of doing that, and they've kind of gotten away from it, trying to shorten the game like we mentioned. But I'll tell you, the biggest thing, at least in my opinion, is on third down, Warren Easton has just been able to get unbelievable pressure on John Paul Pierce. And it's just tough. He has had no time to throw the ball. He's thrown under duress, and he can't find open receivers, and they've been able to get the ball, get off the field on third down and get the ball back for their offense. So Brother Martin's got to go in at the halftime with the coaches and try to make some adjustments, and hopefully can get some points here.
And as far as Warren Easton's concerned, they have not been able to really run the ball. Their really good running plays have been Lance Legendre running around.
You're right.
And making plays. From scrimmage, they haven't been able to run the ball at all.
No, they had not much there. The defensive front by Brother Martin done a very good job of stopping those guys trying to run the ball up the middle. Done a really good job. And I tell you what, compared to last week, I'll be honest, the Brother Martin defense had a little bit of a rough time. Had a team that was very athletic, very similar to this Warren Easton team. But they've played exceptionally today. Played very, very well. Great improvement from last week. The defensive coaches need to be happy. But once again, though, all it counts was on the scoreboard. So we need to find a way to get some points here.
Warren Easton band on the field performing now, doing an outstanding job as they always do as well. And again, we want to salute Jerry Phillips and his program at Warren Easton for their hospitality. Couldn't be nicer. Warren Easton home game here this evening, and Coach Phillips is a wonderful guy who's just done great things at the school. And as I mentioned, I had the pleasure of knowing him for a long time, from Endicott to Tulane University, and now here at Warren Easton High School. And boy, when you look at 4A, Endicott is still the chalk until somebody shows otherwise. They're the chalk. But Warren Easton's in the same district. Up until this year, McDonough 35 was also in that league, although now they're in a different league, and they're awfully good. Those three teams have been in the Final Four in 4A several times over the last few years. Of course, Carr is the defending 4A state champion, so you got some terrific football teams here in the New Orleans area.
Well, I tell you what, Kenny, I know you see a lot more high school football than I do, but I tell you what, last year, Carr was by far the best team I saw all year. Any classification. They were unbelievable. We saw them here. We had a game we had against Brother Martin that was a track meet, and they had, was Alden Clark, was that the quarterback's name?
Yes, correct.
Who was just an incredible athlete. And I tell you what, that was one heck of a football team, and they played a heck of a schedule and ended up winning the state championship in the Dome. But just a great football team, and like you mentioned, until somebody beats them, they got to be the favorites in 4A.
Yeah, Landry Walker, obviously 0-2, but they were 0-2 last year and won the state championship.
Yep.
When you're 0-2 losing to John Curtis and Endicott, that's nothing to really be concerned about in my mind. But they're awfully good once again. Looking at the non-select side, you got to get this clarification out there, which I hate, but you got to at least classify it and clarify it completely. On the select side of things, I think still Evangel is the team to beat on Division I because they have most everybody back from last year. 17 starters and the best team in the state last year, although they got beat at Allen, Texas last night by a national powerhouse.
No, that's no shame in that.
Curtis got beat today by a national power in Grayson, Georgia, and Shreveport, but those two teams look like the best teams again in Division I, although the gap is closed. I think Rummel is probably very close to those teams. Catholic High is still solid. St. Paul's is a good football team. Scotlandville's still a good football team as well. And I think you kind of start there in terms of the teams in Division I that are, the teams that you really want to contend with. I think on this side of things, Brother Martin and St. Augustine will be teams that will be trying to fight through to that first level. They have the ability if they can improve to do so. I think, unfortunately, Shaw's really going to struggle. Holy Cross is probably not there. Jesuit probably not there. just looking at the grand scheme of things. So
it's interesting now, Ken, the way scheduling, high school scheduling, a few years ago before the select, non-select nonsense, frankly, you schedule teams try to get power points to make sure you got in the playoffs. Well, now you're in the playoffs. So, I think Coach Bonise has done kind of a little bit of a change of just a change of theory, if you will, and the way he scheduling tough teams. And if you take a loss here and there, I think it makes you tougher down the road and makes it you'll have those tough games when you get into the playoffs, and you're used to going into those battles when it really counts. Because frankly, unless you're getting a bye, the seeding really doesn't matter. You got to play 3 or 4 games to win the whole thing, and you're playing a lot of these teams over again, for the second time of the season, rematches, which nobody likes. But that's the way it is. So you kind of look at the situation, look at the way things are, and try to take best advantages for your team.
Well, your buddy Eric Kell just texted me. He's
good
watching,
old Opie, huh?
Watching and listening, and he said to tell you that Carr was the second best team in the state last year to Evangel. That's what
he may have a point there, especially at the end of the year. Evangel, I know they made 3 trips down to New Orleans, 3 weeks in a row in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, and dominated all 3 football games against Scotlandville, who was very good, against John Curtis.
St. Paul's played them tough. It was 27-20. That was a good game. But, yeah, to beat Curtis by 3 touchdowns, hold them another 200 yards, Curtis's home game, that's a pretty impressive statement that they made. But, look, here's the thing. The beauty of it is that they were both champions of grade. The sad part is that, even though they're in different classes, those kind of teams will never get to play each other when it matters.
No,
so that's what's disappointing to me.
And, well, we've had this discussion over the years, the last 3, 4, 5 years, however this has been going on, the select, non-select situation. It's here to stay. It's not going away. The public school principals especially have made it clear that's the way they want things. They expanded to other sports to include basketball and softball and baseball. And that's just the way it is, and that's a new reality in the LHSAA.
It is. It's unfortunate, but it is.
And I think because of that, that's why you see teams like Rummel and teams like Brother Martin, they're playing out-of-state teams because they're saying, okay, fine, if you want to separate from us, then we'll go play out-of-state instead of keeping all that money in-state. They could easily split the gate and giving them all these public schools. They're saying, fine, we'll go somewhere else in. So
that's exactly why they're doing it. And it's disappointing, but at the same time, can you blame them?
No.
Nope.
That's the only way that they can say, okay.
Well,
fine,
that's kind of what the litmus test is. I know that's what your friend Roth does. He makes it very clear. He says, if you voted for the split, I'm not playing you. I'll go play a team out of state before I play a team that voted to split. And that's what they've done.
And I don't blame them. Well, why are we going to bring our fans and help them financially?
Money. Correct. Because if you go to their place, Brother Martin has a solid following. They're going to bring people and sell tickets. The schools in this league, Jesuit does that.
Yeah,
Rummel does that. St. Augustine does that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good crowds, good support, and again, that's kind of what happens, when you're talking about the way this thing is unfolded. And it's terribly unfortunate because here's the deal. A lot of coaches whose schools voted for a split, they're not for it. But they have to keep their mouths shut because they work for institutions that voted for it and principals that control the purse strings.
And also, let's be honest here, the way the LHSAA is set up, there are a whole lot more 1A, 2A, and 3A schools than there are 4A and 5A schools. I think this whole thing was born of the smaller schools not wanting to compete against certain other schools. And they had the numbers to do it. I think if you I know there was a talk a couple of years ago to try to do this, and it didn't happen, but to keep the larger classifications together, to keep 5A, 4A in one group, and I think that probably would have passed given a truly fair shake. But like I mentioned before, that's just not the reality. It is, and it is what it is, and it's probably here to stay.
You're right. The teams have emerged back on the field. As you know, high school half times are pretty long. But they're
it's
back
like the
on
Super
the field
Bowl
now.
halftime.
And they're back on the field now, warming up. We're about 4 minutes away from the start of the second half. Again, it is a 6-0 lead for Warren Easton over Brother Martin. Ken Trahan, Lenny Sumich, and Chad LaRose with you as these teams get ready to get the second half started next week. As we mentioned, Brother Martin is at Hahnville. By the way, Hahnville voted not to split, just so that we make that very clear.
There you go.
And Brother Martin's playing at Hahnville next week, in what should be another really good ball game. And Warren Easton, all they've got next week is to go to Berman Stadium to play Landry Walker. So, again, this schedule for Warren Easton: Jesuit, Brother Martin, Landry Walker, John Curtis to start the year. So,
piece of cake.
Well, again, when you're really good, you want to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
And You want to get power points. And here's the deal with Warren Easton. They know they're really good. They know they have a real chance to win it all. And what they're thinking is this. They don't want to go back to Monroe in the semifinals to play Neville. They want them to come here.
No,
so
absolutely.
the way you do that is to play a very tough schedule, get the power points, and get the higher seed. And so far, so good. Of course, Neville's 0-2 right now.
Yeah, lost to Ruston last night, wasn't it?
Well, lost Ruston last week,
I'm
but then
sorry.
they lost an out-of-state team last night. So, again, playing a very difficult schedule. That record is totally deceiving as well.
I tell you what, that home game especially late in the playoffs, that can make a huge, anytime, a huge difference, especially in those situations when it's late November, weather can be a factor, and the difference between having a team have to drive 5 hours from Monroe or you having to drive 5 hours up there, it's a big difference. Having to sleep in a hotel the night before, it just makes it much tougher to stay focused and get the job done.
Right. I mean, getting that seed is so important. Brother Martin had to go back-to-back to Baton Rouge last year. Went to Catholic and won in demonstrative fashion, and then went to Scotlandville and couldn't quite pull it off. And, again, if you're at home, it
makes a difference.
Might be a different story in a close game.
Yeah, they say it's like you're down 6-7-0 before the game starts, when you got to go into somebody's home field. But I remember when I was coaching at Rummel, we had to play a Ouachita in the second round, and actually Jay decided not to spend the night, to go, that day. So we took a bus early that morning, and we were fortunate enough to win. But that's tough, man. You're on the road that long, and you got to get out and stretch your legs out, and you got to go play a game that night. So yeah, that's definitely an advantage to the home team.
That was a Pat Collins team, I believe, that watched. He's a really good football coach. Yeah.
That's another thing that's changed from difference when we played, Chad, is that now it's just strictly power points. One plays 32, or two plays 31, whereas in the 70s and 80s,
wild cards, huh?
Well,
play the team in your area.
That's right.
Right.
The 11 Quad A champion played the runner-up from 12 Quad A, which was the Jefferson Parish Public School, or whatever it happened to be.
Well, we were the wild card our junior senior year, so we played the New Orleans champion. Right. Yeah, whoever the New Orleans.
Well, we remember when we were juniors, we played 4 games in the city of New Orleans, never left, and we were visited at least twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were the visitors against Old Perry Walker across the river, and we were visitors against Booker T. Washington here.
Correct.
And that means that Ruston had to come down here. Of course, it didn't work out anyway.
No.
But it was close.
Well, guys, this halftime is almost 30 minutes now. So, that's just the way it goes, man.
I'm rested.
I'm
good.
You got your fastball back, huh?
I'm good.
You're ready to go.
Send it back out there for another inning. Wrong score. It's all good. So, Warren Easton will get the ball first to start the second half after deferring earlier. 6-0 Eagles on top. And Brother Martin's defense will be tested right away.
And I tell you what, Kenny and Lenny, as bad as, with the penalties and what we saw from Brother Martin's offense, and you mentioned it briefly, Kenny, the Brother Martin's defense, you really got to be impressed with them. They holding the 6 points. Warren Easton had, a lot of opportunities. Brother Martin basically gave up that one big play. Other than that, they played pretty solid defense. So,
I'll say much improved from last week.
Yeah, but the offense, unfortunately, can't get out of their own way. The penalties have absolutely killed us, took us out of, what was maybe field goal range. It brought us all the way back past our, the 50. It's just we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So, it's hard enough to beat good teams, but we can't put hurdles in front of ourselves to beat these good teams. We've got to overcome those penalties, those turnovers. Did much better not turning the ball over, but the penalties are absolutely killing us.
So the Crusaders will kick it off to start the second half. Expect that will be Jack Landry to do it. And Warren Easton will have twin receivers deep. Damian Tate, ever present, tremendously gifted and dangerous, along with the shot Clayton deep. Now they've kicked away from Tate when he's been back on punt returns. He's stationed in the middle of the field here. Clayton is off to the left.
We're going to see a pooch kick here. This ball's not going past the 20.
Well, he's taking a long approach to the ball, though.
Well, let's see what he does.
Very long approach. And there's your pooch kick.
I think that's his regular kick. I don't think
to
he has
the 28, to the 32, 33, 34, 35. So, pretty good field position. At the 33, they're going to mark it. That's where Warren Easton will start its first possession of the second half with a 6-0 lead over Brother Martin. And Lance Legendre will lead his team back on the field. And they have Barabino in the backfield. Clayton at times as well. His receivers are Stix Jones, Jewel Holmes, Johannes Tyler, Kyam Green. Up front, Cedric Van Pran, Devin Lewis, Trayvon Riley, Devontae Phillips, Caleb Etienne. On 1st and 10 from the 33. Calls for the ball, wants to throw. Throws the quick one outside. It's caught and up near the first down. Looks like a first down for Green right at the marker. Needed 10. He's right at the marker.
And this is what I'm afraid of, Lenny, the pitch and catch. We saw Petal do it last week with very, aggressive effectiveness, if you want to call it. But they were able to get first downs at will. The 5 and out, the slants, just the hitch routes.
Yeah, you give them that cushion, they turn around, get the little hitch, little out.
We couldn't stop them.
And then, of course, if you sneak up on you, they run right behind you. So it's
right.
So 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for Warren Easton, opening possession of the second half. Legendre wants to throw. Screen coming. And he throws another.
Nice tackle.
A great job in the open field
Ben
to
Chaplin
tackle
again.
Tyler, as indeed the play was made by 42 Ben Chaplin.
Yeah, good job, because they had a lot of run room down the sidelines if he makes that catch and turns it upfield. So good job by Chapman getting running that crossing route down and making a stop for little gain.
Holds him to a gain of 2.
Second time he's made a play like that on a screen.
On 2nd and 8. Snap it. Wants to throw it outside. It does. Got a block, and it's open. 50, 45, 40. Speed to the 30. Look at Tate. 25, 20. Tate to the 15. Tate will score. Damian Tate. They finally got him the football. Now you know why. Brother Martin's been keeping the ball away from him. Tate goes the distance, 55 yards, and it's 12-0.
It was a nice pass and catch there to Tate, but give Tate a lot of credit. And unfortunately, Brother Martin defense did a poor job tackling. They had about 3 guys, Chad, who had a chance to stop him for well upfield, because should have had the ball. The carrier stopped at the 35-yard line. And
that was the same wide receiver screen landing we saw in the first series of the first quarter. And we stopped it. We shut it down for no gain. But Tate, credit, did a good job breaking some tackles, going down the sidelines.
But just poor tackling there on the defense.
Tate exploded once he got into space. Now they missed the first extra point attempt. Did not look good in the process. So they're going to run a trick play, flip a swinging game left to the goal line. He is in.
Oh, man.
And the 2-point conversion works. So Green scores it. And a timeout on the field with 11 minutes to play in the third quarter. It's now Warren Easton 14, Brother Martin nothing. Back in a moment. This is Brother Martin Football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and live also at CrescentCitySports.com. So back upfield to the 30. On the kickoff, Brother Martin will have the ball there as we get started with the first possession of the second half for the Crusaders, who now find themselves in arrears. 14-0 against this very talented Warren Easton team. Ken Trahan, Lenny Sumich, and Chandler Rose with you. And Brother Martin offense has to find itself now if they want to make sure they stay in this game.
That would be the time, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can't say you're going to abandon, your offense and what you're doing, but, the handoffs in between the tackles, you hadn't found much success. So let's see if Mike LeBlanc decides to go outside and decides to open up the offense a little bit.
On 1st and 10 from the 30. Going to run it inside left, and again, nothing there. Rouge gets a yard or two, but that's been the story throughout, running inside, not much.
They've been very content and running a 2 tight end offense there, Chad. 2 receivers out to one side, kind of tight formation with a wing back, and we're just pounding the middle. Not much
No,
yardage in there, that's for sure, though.
Yeah, give credit to Niall Vincent and the big nose guard, Jeffrey Holmes. You know, they've been clogging up everything in the middle. Brother Martin's really not finding a lot of daylight.
He's only 6'1", 330. He's not that big.
Nah. 2nd and 8 at the 32. Good luck with that. Fake it, wants to throw the slant, and it's high and incomplete. A little bit high for Faust.
Catch that.
Hands fully outstretched.
He was open.
They had him.
A little bit lower. I think he definitely catches it, but incomplete, close.
Well, he really is small compared to the nose tackle for Petal last week was listed at 380, Kenny.
Yeah.
Listed at
And
380.
that was generous. He probably was pushing forward. But yeah, but Brother Martin, I mean, you know, Pierce making a great play action throw, and you know, we just got to come down with that reception. That would have easily been a first down. Our wide receivers are finding open space.
Yeah, you need to just, and then she's another big 3rd down, and watch Warren Easton has brought pressure on every 3rd down.
Got 5 men up front. 3rd down and 8. They come with 5. Rolling right, stopping, Pierce throwing.
Got a man.
And a man open down the middle, but the throw is off the mark. Well, they had 2
hold anyway.
guys running deep against 1 defender, but again, a flag down.
That's going to be another hold.
He can cover him if the quarterback can't get him the ball, you know. But yeah, this is definitely not Brother Martin's offense. You know, we're not geared to pick up blitzes and throw, you know, off our back foot.
I mean, they're blitzing on 3rd down, but also, you know, they're frankly the front 4 for Warren Easton has beaten Brother Martin's offensive line, and especially in those obvious passing situations. They're just pinning their ears back and coming, and they just can't handle them.
So it's a punting situation from the 32-yard line. Alfonso to punt. Tate, no doubt, will drop deep. Saw what he can do when he gets his hands on the ball.
Oh,
and the snap is over his head. Alfonso chasing it down at the 2. No. He evades 1, and he somehow got it off. What a job by Alfonso. It rolls
that's
past the 45.
That may be the play of the year.
To the 49. What an effort by Alfonso.
Amazing. I was telling him
that is the
safety.
That is the best 16-yard punt you'll ever see.
Absolutely. That is truly amazing. How did he not get tackled, or how did he have enough time to pick up the ball and actually punt it? And nobody from Warren Easton block it is a miracle.
I'll tell you what, that ball was airmailed over Alfonso's head, and he had the presence of mind to go back there, pick it up, avoid a tackler,
get it out
kick it, and actually get a decent punt off. So
it's a brilliant effort.
Really was. Give that kid credit.
1st and 10 from the 49. Snap it, retreating, looking underneath, screen coming, and that's caught with room to the 45. Nice tackle at about the 43-yard line.
So we have
Sheldon Stick Jones on the catch.
A horse collar or something.
Horse collar.
Horse collar.
Yeah. To the 43, a gain of 6, but more to come, it looks like.
That's got to put us over 100 yards in penalties.
It's going to be close.
I'll tell you in a moment. Let's get the official indication first following the 6-yard penalty, a 6-yard completion to Jones.
I'll tell you what, if horse collar was illegal back in our day, Chad, I wouldn't be able to play.
You made your living on the horse collar.
So that'll be 15 more. That's 8 penalties and 94 yards on Brother Martin.
94 yards, man.
First down and 10 at the 28. And a run inside. We'll get about 2. Brother Martin's been able to shut that down in this game.
They really have.
And that goes for 2 yards to DeWitt Johnson.
Yeah, the Brother Martin defensive line up front really has done a good job stopping the run.
Yeah, John Burkhardt made a good tackle.
Yeah, Booker's done a good job. Grubbs, those guys have done a real good job so far.
Option left, that's Tate with speed. Good job on the pursuit.
Good
Got
job.
him down, good play.
There's Brandon Brown.
Yeah, Brendan Brown's one of the really good athletes on his defense.
Yeah, he got it. You know, we were slamming him in the first half. He let up the quarterback containment, got to the outside for a first down, but that time he did a really good job cutting off, you know, that option pitch and making a tackle for -1 yard.
Loss of 2. 3rd and 10. Motion into the formation from the 28. Snap it. Retreats. Time. Throwing. Sideline. And it's going to be incomplete. Good job. Yeah. Incomplete. Good job on the defense.
Good coverage.
Really good coverage.
Yeah, really. There was no separation on that one, Chad.
That was actually the same play Brother Martin ran in the first series when they got that long pass off. It was a play action pass to the running back who snuck around the left side. But our linebackers did a good job of staying in coverage and prevented that catch. But good job by Brother Martin's defense.
So it's going to be 4th down and 10 yards to go from the 28. They'll go for it. There's Andre Lines up in the pistol formation. Man in motion right. Pump fakes. Steps up. Heavy pressure. Holding. And a sack coming.
Good job.
And Brother Martin gets it done.
Good job.
Brother Martin's offense has to get ready. I don't know if they realized it was 4th down or not. They still on the
Excellent job by number 24, Brendan Brown, once again.
Yeah, Brendan Brown stepping up here in the second half. Had a big play a moment ago and another big one there on 4th down. Able to.
He had a moment of decision in halftime.
Maybe he did.
A Luke Jurovich type moment of
that's
decision.
right.
Loss of 11 on the play. And Brother
Jason
Martin
Alexis, too.
gets a stop. Can this offense find itself? Still in this one, only down 14-0.
Boy, I tell you, this will be a good time for the Brother Martin offense to kind of get it in gear here. Boy, they've really been sputtering, and like you mentioned a moment ago, Chad, just been their own worst enemy with the penalties. Boy, they really need to get something going here if they want to stay in this football game.
From the 39 on 1st and 10. Fakes it, now gives it off to Smith. He's got room, 45, and knifes across the 45-yard line by about a foot or two. Picks up 6 at 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that was the sprint draw action, Lenny. Looks like the quarterback, Pierce, actually had to fake roll out, and handed it to Smith for a nice little gain up the left side, making it 2nd and 4.
From the 45. Pierce the snap. Run it right with Smith. He's in deep trouble in the backfield and down for a 2-yard loss.
They're just too fast.
Pursuit too good. Number 10, Lavelle Otis makes the stop.
Just too fast. They just can't get to the corner. I mean, the guys are coming up, and those linebacker and that defensive end is just, they're beating their man to the corner and just keeping contained and getting penetration to the backfield where just nowhere to run.
Yeah, to negate defensive speed, you'd be better off optioning off those players as opposed to trying to run around them. You're not going to get outside of those guys.
And here we are in another 3rd down in a passing situation. And
those linebackers, they're going to be creeping
I'll tell you
up.
what, and
Well, it's 3rd and 6.
Here comes the safety. Safety dropping down. There he goes. That's a flag.
There you go.
Be a flag.
Yeah, his hand is on his back. That's a flag.
So that's going to be a 1st down, or it should
take
be.
it.
Yep, and good job by Brother Martin. The safety came down to blitz, and this quick slant was on. He had a guy wide open, number 3. But yeah, clearly defensive pass interference.
I think that at this point in the game, I think you almost have to go to that, Chad. You got to open it up a little bit. You just having very little.
You got to take what the defensive gives you, Lenny. If they're going to be blitzing off the corners quick like that, then those quick slants are going to be open all day. Those cornerbacks are not really jamming the receivers. They're playing off them a little bit, but we've seen it. I mean, the wide receivers are getting open. They're in space. We just got to get them the ball.
Well, there's another example of a 15-yard penalty rather than the spot foul. Spot foul would have been about a 5-yard penalty.
Right.
But instead it goes 15. And a 1st down. Crusaders at the 42-yard line.
Coming up again on the blitz, or at least showing it.
Both safeties.
Boy, they're coming.
They drop them back.
Throw it outside into a ton of traffic. That's another
one.
interference call. Boy, that would be 15 more.
15 more.
Yeah,
Talk about big stuff here.
Yeah.
I think 30 yards in the last two plays on just 2 little 3-yard out routes.
Yeah, that was like.
But those are the rules.
You see New England run that route all the time. That little pick play, they call it the rub play, whatever. But good job trying to get the turn of the ball to the outside. And,
talking this one over.
Defense definitely grabbed him, definitely got his hands on him.
It is on Warren Easton, and of course, the infraction will be marked off. Brother Martin's getting up in really good shape.
We'll need to take advantage of this.
It's going to be a 14-yard penalty or a 16-yard penalty?
Well, we're waiting to see. The line of scrimmage was the 42. Still talking it over. Here we go. Defensive holding was the call.
Oh, that was the call. 10 yards.
10-yard penalty.
Yeah, and you're going to get that in man-to-man coverage. The cornerbacks, that's what they've been playing all night. So
6 penalties, 66 yards on the Eagles now. And a 1st down. Run it left, cut back play. And Morgan to about the 31-yard line.
Keep pounding it there. I tell you what, a couple more yards. Just tough going in there. for those Crusader running backs tonight.
Yeah, we found Morgan last week, Lenny. Nice, hard running back. Let's see if he can have some success running in. Coaches running that running back by committee, but
Came up with a yard on the play, 2nd and 9 at the 31.
He actually played a little bit of quarterback last year too. Very young backfield, for the exception of the quarterback with the Crusaders. All these running backs are a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Tell you what, one person has not been involved in the offense today. It's Joseph Parente, the tight end. He's been a guy who's been able to get a
timeout. Brother Martin took too much time there, so they had to take timeout as the clock was completely winding down for them, and they take the timeout. And it comes with 6:44 to play in the third quarter, and 14-0 Warren Easton on top. So they'll talk it over and try to make sure they get things sorted out properly here. This is one of those drives they need to finish on.
Absolutely. Yeah, if they want to have any chance to really stay in this ball game here, you have to put points on the board here. Touchdown is almost imperative.
And it's deflating, not just if you don't make a touchdown for the offense, but for the team. The defense has been playing so well. They're coming in. They did give up two big plays, but for the most part, defense is playing well. For them to stop Warren Easton and the offense again, just not be able to put any points on the board, that's definitely deflating. Brother Martin's got to come up with a way to get the ball in the end zone.
I'll tell you what, this Warren Easton team, not only they're very talented, they're very well coached too. I mean, they make very few mistakes. They've got a few penalties here and there, but they have not turned the ball over. Solid special teams, obviously very good offense and defense, so very, very well coached football team.
2nd and 9 from the 31-yard line. It's 6:44 to play in the third quarter. Pierce the snap and gives it inside for nothing to Payne Morgan. Again, that big nose tackle spoils everything. Great penetration by Jeffrey Holmes. He's been in the backfield the whole game, it seems.
He's lit back there.
And I just don't see how that's not a read. The quarterback's got to be able to read that and pull that ball. I mean, everybody, all 7 guys up front for Warren Easton are reading the running back. And Pierce is just wide open on the outside, but that's not a called option. 3rd
down and 10 yards to go. Pump fake, steps up, good run. He will. He's at the 30, cuts back 25.
It's be close.
Hit hard. He's going to be short at about the 24 by about 2 yards. But a nice gain of 8. And they'll go for it on 4th and 2 here.
Yeah, definitely 4th and 2, deep in Warren Easton territory. They ought to have a little more time to talk about it because this should be the hydration timeout. But maybe not. Should be. It's when the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, it is. You're right. 4th down and 2.
Referee's not
run the play here.
Calling it.
Nope. Wide side, left side of the field. Pierce looks over to the sideline. Big play here for the Crusaders on 4th and 2.
9 guys in the box, Chad.
Yeah.
9 guys.
Watch Brother Martin trying to get the ball in the flat.
Takes the snap. Going to run it with Smith, and he's not going to get it. Nope. Short by a yard, and Warren Easton will get it back. So unable to convert here.
It's very reminiscent to the goal line stance last week, Lenny.
Yeah, you're right, Chad. Just couldn't get enough. Got a yard. Got 1 yard and needed 2. This Brother Martin offense, just unfortunately this year, has just been sputtering in those short yard situations. And tonight, just can't seem to get anything going in crucial times, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we just don't have that 210-pound running back that can get you that hard 2 yards.
No, especially against a defense like this where. Yeah. They're lined up there and they're daring you. They're basically daring you to throw the ball, too.
Absolutely. We haven't seen a safety all night.
No. And unfortunate, but, it's up to the defense once again to keep them in this football game. And only down 14 here midway through the third quarter. But, you need the defense to come up with another stop and hopefully maybe get a turnover here. That'd be nice.
Certainly would be. 23-yard line, 5:19 to play in the third. Warren Easton has the ball, and they have the lead at 14-0 over Brother Martin. Ken Trahan, Lenny Sumich, and Chandler Rose with you from Tad Gormley Stadium. Mention Hahnville next week for Brother Martin. Then against Curtis on September 22nd. St. Aug September 30th here on Crescent City Sports and WGSO. Then a long trip to Bastrop to play the Rams. Holy Cross October 13th. Here at Gormley, October 21st at Joe Yenny against Rummel, October 28th against Shaw, and And that's a Shrine on Airline game. And then Jesuit on November 3rd here at Gormley. 1st and 10 at the 23 for the Eagles. We'll run it inside with Barabino. He fights through one tackle, but he goes down after a gain of only 2. Again, the Brother Martin defense, interior-wise, has done a good job. That was Jabari Watts.
Yeah, just a real good job of the front, the linebackers and the defensive line of keeping the Warren Easton rushing game intact. Really not a lot of running yards between the tackles for sure tonight.
Like I said, the only real runs they've had with any success have been Legendre scrambling. 2nd down and 8. Running inside with Barabino again, same result. He'll get a yard. Slam back down by 4 white shirts. Not going to let him get anywhere. Matthew Alfonso was there with help.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here, Lenny, to see if they content with just moving the chains, or they're going to try to go deep again. They've had success on a couple big plays that resulted in
they're going to throw
points.
the ball here for sure. Or at least get that quarterback out into space and let him make a play.
3rd and 7 from the 26. 3 receivers are left.
Well,
1 is to the right.
They're only rushing 3.
Retreats to throw. Looking. He's going to go deep down the field for Tate. Tate's got it. And he broke the tackle, and he will score. Damian Tate, another big play. Touchdown, Tate. And 74 yards. Warren Easton is growing this lead to 20-0.
He just let him get behind him, Chad. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Morgan, the young safety, he looked like, he might have had a play on the ball, but he was just trying to get to the spot where he could make a tackle, and came up short.
I mean, Tate had him beat, and the ball was a little bit underthrown. He had a chance on it there, but just couldn't quite close the gap. And boy, that's just a killer. You have a 3rd and long, deep in their own territory,
and the guy gets behind you. Yeah,
you just can't.
You can't do it.
You can't let that happen.
But again, Brother Martin's been sitting in cover 3 all night, and an offense is eventually going to find a way to beat you. And Warren Easton, they got 20 points right now. They're going for the extra point, but it's been 3 plays. It's all big plays. It's not really long drives.
They're going for 2 too.
Looks like they're going to go for 2 now. Giving up on that kicking game. Tate a direct snap. Tate rolls right. Tate throws to a wide open man. And guess who it is?
Wow, the nose tackle.
It's the nose tackle.
Wow.
Jeffrey Holmes. How about that?
How do you not see him? I mean, somebody's got to cover that guy.
That's like the fridge out
That's
there.
the old fridge play, no doubt about it. It's 22-0.
Like somebody's got to cover him on accident, huh? Just slamming into you. How does he get open?
He runs out in a route. Like, where's this guy going?
Yeah. Somebody might want to tell the scoreboard operator they just converted the 2-point conversion. There you go.
You got it.
22-0.
That's just a killer right there.
It's disheartening. We talked about it. We talked about Brother Martin's susceptible. We don't have any guy that can make a big play for us on offense, but our weakness, our Achilles heel on defense is not the long drives. It's not, getting pounded, getting punished. We give up big plays, and Warren Easton's taking full advantage of that.
3 plays. That's all it took. And 77 yards. 74-yard touchdown pass. Legendre to Tate. Tate's got 2 catches, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Pretty good average.
Nothing wrong with that.
Good Lord.
Legendre is now 11 of 15, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception.
Wow.
And some yards to boot, running.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah, that's just hard to watch, Lenny. You know it's coming, and they still execute. And not only do you get the first down, they get the touchdown off of it. That's just, you got some young guys. You mentioned it before. We got some young guys on offense. Well, we got some young guys on defense there. And unfortunately, the safety made a very sophomorish mistake on trying to play the receiver and not playing the ball.
Tough.
Here's the kickoff. Short again. Fielded at the 14. Upfield to the 20. 25. Nice return by Faust. Still on his feet. Won't give up. Pushes forward in
it's a scrum.
Scrum there to the 35-yard line. Nice return.
Uh-oh. Late flag.
Late flag comes in. We'll check what that's all about.
Yeah, Brother Martin's got to find a way, not only to drive the score here, Lenny, or this game could get ugly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right here. We need something. And just, unfortunately,
our offense isn't geared to have a quick response.
That's a late hit on us. Maybe
No, it's both ways.
Oh, okay.
Both ways, yeah.
That's the first foul call, the offset.
So they offset. 35-yard line will be the line of scrimmage for 3:43 to play in the third quarter, what has been a slow-moving quarter. And it's been painful for Brother Martin and very profitable for Warren Easton. The Eagles up 22-0. Well, they really controlled play in the first half, but only had a 6-point lead. So there was a hope for Brother Martin then, but Warren Easton has shown its superior athleticism here in the second half. Great quarterback, great skilled players making plays.
Yeah, you called it too, Lenny. You know, this team's very similar to Petal that we saw last week, and we see a similar response. Brother Martin's making their own mistakes, and Warren Easton's taking advantage of it.
First and 10, skinny motion from Faust, and they're going to run it inside with Smith. He's going to pick up 5.
He almost fumbled it right
Flag
there.
comes down late. Not sure what he sees there from on the side.
That's a face mask or a horse collar. We're kind of shielded by the way he fell. Couldn't really tell.
Holding? Is it?
Face mask.
Okay.
Is the call against Warren Easton. So it'll be a 5-yard mark off, inadvertent. It's 7 penalties and 71 yards on the Eagles.
Hey, good job by Smith just hanging on to the ball. It was not a clean exchange, and he bobbled it halfway through the hole.
So first down by penalty for Brother Martin. Inside run by Smith. We'll get a couple.
Yeah, Brother Martin's content running in between the tackles still, Lenny. I don't know what this is proving, but
I'm not sure.
I think Warren Easton's defense has got to be happy giving up 2 yards of
Yeah,
block.
they'll do this all night long as the clock's running. Up by 3 touchdowns.
It doesn't look like Warren Easton's defensive line is tiring. And,
No, this is not one of these situations where.
Second and 8 at the 47. Under 3 minutes to play in the quarter. Pierce takes the snap. Counter play. Smith tackled immediately. No gain again there. Outstanding defensive front that time. It was 51 Kyron Givens, who's really good, who makes the play.
Yeah, give credit to Givens and Parker and Holmes and Vincent. You know, Brother Martin's MO is we'll keep running the ball, and by the time the third and fourth quarter comes, Lenny, we'll start wearing on you. And those 3-4 yard runs will become 8-9 yard runs first downs, but we're not seeing that tonight.
Not tonight.
So a 3rd and 8 from the 47-yard line.
Trips right.
And a single receiver left. Pierce wants to throw the screen. He's going to get engulfed and buried. Smashed down at about the 35-yard line. Tremendous pressure.
That's just a jailbreak.
That's a sack party, and everybody's invited.
Man.
Damani Burrell was there.
It was a race to see if he can get back there quick enough.
I mean, no chance whatsoever. None whatsoever.
No, and Pierce doesn't even have time. The receivers don't even have time to turn around to see what's going on, and Pierce is already on the ground.
Loss of 11. 4th sack for Warren Easton. Alfonso will field a bouncy ball.
Wait,
we get a flag before the snap.
They're not ready? Did you not blow the whistle?
Don't see a flag, so I think you're right. I don't think they were ready for play yet.
I don't think the back judge was ready.
Good pass from center here. And a nice punt, but this is Tate. Look out. 25, shook a tackle. Tate to the 30. Look at Tate. 35-40. Belted down hard, but boy, is he good. 15-yard return for Tate. Good field position for Warren Easton. With a minute 12 to play in the third, leading 22-0 over Brother Martin.
Defense is, back on the field again. Unfortunately, the offense hasn't really given them a whole lot of breaks tonight. And, down 22 here in the late and third quarter.
This could be, you mentioned the floodgates, Lenny. If we don't get a 3 and out here, it could be.
Yeah, just as you look at this football game, you can see the momentum has been on Warren Easton's side all night long, but you feel like it's about to gush. But this defense is starting to get a little tired. And if they keep their foot on the accelerator, it could kind of get out of hand. Hopefully it doesn't, but certainly possible.
Fakes it, throws it, that's caught, and there's the speed of the outside. 40, 35, stutter step 30, 25, and all the way down to the 22-yard line. Beautiful throw and catch.
Boy, I hate when I'm right.
And another first down. Big play to Sticks Jones.
You know, they started out in double wide. That inside slot receiver on the left sideline went into motion and isolates that receiver on the line of scrimmage to the left, and Lasser just got caught, you know, on a quick slant route, but he just couldn't keep up with the speed of Jones on the outside, and a big gain here.
37 yards to the 23-yard line. Checking a player. It's Brother Martin right now. My play is stopped for the moment.
That's a safety. Looks like Trey Morgan.
Man, looked like he's okay, but a little shaken up on that play.
So first down at the Brother Martin 23. Legendre over 300 yards passing. Can't handle a snap, and he'll have to fall on it back at the 33. A 10-yard loss.
Defense coordinator has to call that play every down. Coaching staff's...
Brother Martin saying they had the ball, but...
Yeah, I don't think they did. I think he fell on it.
I think he fell on it and then...
Popped out after.
Popped out afterwards.
Yeah, they're going to go second
and 20 from the 33. Clock winding down, 10 seconds and counting. They may not run another play in the quarter.
Normally, I'd feel good on 2nd and 20 plays, Lenny, but
no, not.
Seems like that's when
not these teams. Jeez.
Yeah.
Another high snap. But I think the quarter expired before the snap.
Yeah.
It is. So at the end of 3 quarters, our score is Warren Easton 22, Brother Martin nothing. 4th quarter begins in a moment. You're listening to and watching Brother Martin football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and through CrescentCitySports.com.
Let's get one more here. A shout out to Smalls with the attitude. Lay down that pop from your mama.
Fourth quarter begins 22-0. It's Brother Martin trailing Warren Easton. The Eagles in control. Ken Trahan, Lenny Sumich, and Chandler Rose with you. Cartrell in the studio. The Merritts are here, taking care of business. And we're ready to go here in the fourth quarter.
We're ready. I hope Brother Martin's defense is ready.
3rd and 20.
3rd down and 20 at the 23. 33 rather. Back to pass Legendre. Throws to the side. That's caught open receiver. 25, 20, and knocked short of the first down. At about the 19-yard line is Tyler. There is a flag on the play.
That should be offensive where it's thrown in the backfield.
You would think.
Good tackle by Matthew Alfonso, making the tackle on Brother Martin's side.
This will be a hold.
It is a hold on Warren Easton. Keep going back. So they'll mark this one back. A good 10 yards for the hold. Ends up at the 49. So penalty ends up being a 16-yard infraction. The penalties are piling up.
We've seen some long downs.
2nd down? I thought it was 3rd down.
We have seen some long ones. It's 8 for 87 yards. Retreats to throw. Legendre steps up, throws down the middle, diving effort, incomplete.
Yeah, they could have got called for another hold there. Looked like Looked like the defensive end on the right side, Brother Martin, getting around the edge, had his guy beat and grabbed him jersey, but wasn't called.
So, just your basic 3rd and 35 coming up here. Fun down. If you're the defense.
Normally, you're right.
I think.
I hope so.
Don't jinx us.
Legendre will quick throw it outside. 45, 40. Well, it's Damian Tate. They can't get him down. Look at Damian Tate inside the 30. He is a special
That is
talent.
incredible.
Wow.
That is amazing. He made 4 people miss in an area of 5 yards. How does that happen?
And he didn't have a lot of room either. That was the short side of the field there.
But another flag is down.
That was
It
a long
appears.
flag, too. They might have got him on a clip. They had an offensive lineman that came screaming down to block Tate, to block for Tate, and it looks like he might have got a Crusader in the back.
Would be a 20-yard gain. But, again,
coming back.
Another hold. So, this is going to end up at the... Let's see where they're going to...
Well, it's still got 10 yards. Now it's 3rd and 25.
I'm still waiting to see where they mark the ball. They haven't put it down yet. Looks like
41.
maybe the 41.
It's got to be 3rd down, huh?
Should be 3rd down. There we go. No, yes. There we go.
So 18 yards on the completion to the 31, and then holding. 10-yard penalty to the 41.
Yeah, only rushing 3, so let's see if Legendre has time to throw a deep pass to get the first down.
Legendre takes the snap, retreats to throw, steps up all day, now rolls right, and his speed is there. 40, 35, 30. Look at that speed. 25-yard line. Got him down, but boy, can he fly.
If they had a field goal kicker, he'd be in field goal range.
Yeah, well,
I don't think
they don't.
They don't.
It's going to be 4th and 10.
That's something to really watch for if this team makes a run, because they can
burn you later on.
But that can really hurt you. 16-yard run. And it's going to be 4th down and 12. And yet the officials have another discussion. I did not see a flag there. But then again, that doesn't mean there wasn't one.
No. Looks like...
This thing is slowed to a crawl with all of this.
The referee's trying to explain something to Coach Phillips.
Jerry Phillips getting an explanation about whatever it is. Yeah. Official goes over to the sideline and has a further conversation with the Easton staff.
There was a penalty.
There is a penalty. Another penalty.
I think he might be describing to Coach Phillips the holding call that they're calling.
It's crazy.
Unreal. I mean, they can't seem to get a playoff without a penalty against them. And again, this is back to the 41, so that's a 16-yard infraction here.
Wow. And that was right up against the sidelines, too. So I don't. That could have been on a receiver.
So that's 10 penalties and 113 yards on Warren Easton. Brother Martin's 8 for 94. So a flag fest here is broken out.
Going back again.
We're going to go back more to the 46, so make it a 21-yard infraction.
This is crazy.
Why not?
Oh, wait.
And no backs.
So back to the 46-yard line, 3rd and 32. Legendre steps up, throws outside, open receiver caught, 35, 30, nice cutback, 25. Clayton to the 20, broke a tackle, and he fights all the way down to about the 17-yard line and gives them a chance.
That's right. Brother Martin got caught in a prevent defense pretty much, Lenny, just because of the down distance, and simple pitch and catch hitch route turns into a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, it goes from 3rd and 32 to 4th and 5.
Yeah, very manageable.
It's a 28-yard gain. And it's 4th and 5. Clayton made the catch. So 4th down and 5 from the 18. 10:21 to play.
3 backs.
Rolls right. Legendre looking, throwing to the outside. Nice throw. And broken up beautifully. Nice job of breaking it up.
Yeah.
Beautiful job by number 23, Jordan Carroll to break it up for Brother Martin.
Yeah, good job. Good job by Carroll breaking that pass up. He broke on the out. It was a deep route, and he was there to make a play and then give Brother Martin offense the ball.
That was a very odd series.
It was.
To say the least.
1 step forward, 3 steps back.
And they just hit penalty after penalty. Tried to keep overcoming that, but sooner or later, it's too much to overcome. And Brother Martin gets it back with 10:13 left, trailing 22-0.
Yeah, I got to think Coach Bonice and Coach LeBlanc have no choice now, Lenny, but to throw the ball.
From the 18, low snap. Steps up. Here's looking. Heavy pressure. Goes
Nowhere
down.
to go.
Sacked for the 5th time in the game as he goes down at the 18-yard line.
It's just so hard for the Brother Martin offense to get anything going tonight. There's too many athletes on Warren Easton's defense.
And if you're putting 3 wide receivers on the field, you're really leaving that tackle exposed. And Warren Easton's done a good job of coming off the edge and putting serious pressure on Pierce. He just has no chance to get the ball off.
From the 18. Retreats. Pierce under heavy pressure will be sacked again, way back at about his 8-yard line.
That was just a bull rush.
Yeah, it's almost.
He just ran over the.
Yeah.
I didn't see who it was with the numbers, but he just ran over the guard center and just man.
That offensive line really, looking last week, they really did a good job. I'm really shocked, Lenny. That
they're having a rough night.
Yeah, they are
having a very rough night.
Not slowing down Warren Easton. They just letting them go through.
Let him down the offensive line film room. Come on, Dave.
Very tough. 3rd and 18.
Going the wrong way, guys.
At the 11. Here's trying to set the protection, saying, please help me. Retreating. Steps up, look out, got it off, and got drilled incomplete. I mean, he just doesn't have much of a chance.
No.
He's got no chance.
The receivers aren't even making their break, and Pierce is on the ground.
He's taken a lot of hits in this game.
Just this pressure straight up the middle, too. I mean, they're blitzing sometimes also, but the last couple of times just been pressure straight from the middle. That's the toughest place to go from a quarterback, Chad. You got right in your face. You have nowhere to go, and you don't have time to throw the ball and just.
No, and it's a point in the game in the 4th quarter, and you're down by 22. You can't hit the 3-yard outs anymore in the slant routes. You got to go deep.
Punt is away. It's going to bounce at about the 46 and be down at about the 48 in Brother Martin territory with 8:41 to play. Warren Easton will get it back once more, and a 22-0 lead for the Eagles.
Can't score, can we?
So Warren Easton with great field position once again.
Yeah, once again, the Brother Martin defense is on the field in a tough situation. They held up pretty well, but just kind of, you can see kind of chipping away here. Just too much talent on the offense for Warren Easton, and it's been on the field too long, and they're getting a little tired. And hopefully they can hold it together here in the last 8.5 minutes of this football game.
From the Brother Martin 48, new quarterback Edwards in the game for Warren Easton. And Joe Edwards hands it off, and they run straight ahead with Clayton for a couple of yards.
Yeah, and Brother Martin's loading up the box now. They have 5 men front, expecting Warren Easton to burn some clock, bleed some clock, and run the ball.
2nd down and 8 from the 46. 8:15 to play. 22-0 Eagles on top. We'll run it right.
Nice play.
And hit the backfield and drop for a loss. Good play. Good job there as DeWitt Johnson was handled by Brendan Brown.
Again, good job cutting off the end by Brendan Brown, showing some good speed and not giving up that outside.
So 3rd and 12 from midfield for Warren Easton. Again, Edwards the quarterback. Joe Edwards, the senior. He's played quite a bit at this position. But you can understand why he doesn't start now.
No kidding.
Snap it. Looking, throwing, sliding attempt incomplete.
I'll tell you what, it was a nice attempt there by the wide receiver Warren Easton. He popped the ball up in the air and it was almost picked off though. Looked like it kind of popped up and off his pads and.
It was a nice post route. The wide receiver had a break between the safety and the linebacker underneath. Nice spot, but Edwards just couldn't get him the ball.
Well, if Legendre is done, he was 14 for 20 for 365 yards, 3 touchdowns and interception, and he rushed 7 times for 53 yards.
Not a bad day.
Not a bad night.
Yeah.
Not a bad night at all.
He accounted for 5 touchdowns against Jesuit last week.
Wow.
Punt is over the head of Faust, who will go into the end zone for a touchback. And Brother Martin will get it back with 7:28 to play, trailing 22-0. And you just don't know if you, I mean, you kind of run out of plays to call, right?
I mean, what do you do?
Well, it's not part of the offense, so, I mean, you know, you really can't break out the short passing routes, Lenny. What's that going to do? But at this point,
well, at this point, you're down
can't
3.
Run the ball.
No, you're down 3 touchdowns. If you run the ball, there still hasn't been a lot there all night. And if you run the ball, you're really pretty much saying this game's over. Which
you're not running past anybody.
No, and
so
you got no verticals because you don't have any time to throw it.
You're very limited. You're very limited.
I mean, just in the Warren Easton defensive line, they're just licking their chops right now.
Really, I hadn't seen Brother Martin's offensive line get whipped like this in a long time.
Snap it, rolls right away from pressure. Could run it, he will to the sideline, just goes out of bounds after a 1-yard gain. They double team the nose tackle on that play.
Probably a good idea.
Double team. Yeah.
Watch
Get
that
beat
one
by
all
somebody
the way.
else. But yeah, Lenny, I mean, at this point, it's hard for Brother Martin to be one-dimensional against these teams, and it's hard to watch. You know,
the thing that's impressive about Holmes is that for as big as he is,
he can move.
He keeps playing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
you're
not,
right. He doesn't.
He's
you're
not
right.
tiring. Okay.
no
No.
huddle offense. Yeah.
Well, he's fired up because he got that 2-point conversion, Kenny.
There you go.
He's ready to
He's a
go.
receiver.
2nd and 10.
Look at.
Yeah.
Looking, has time finally and throws it, and it's almost picked off into a bunch of traffic.
Yeah, that
there.
was a lot of purple jerseys.
Turner's, lucky he didn't get his head taken off. That safety came up hard on him. Gave him a little lick, let him know he's there. But that's the longest pass route we saw Pierce throw. He had the most
That's
time.
the most time he had in quite a while.
Right.
You can't throw from your back.
Nope. So it's 3rd down and 10 yards to go from the 20. Pierce the snap. Boy, the rush is on. He rolls away from it, stops, throws, and throws it beautifully.
There you go, get upfield.
Caught for a first down, stumbling, retaining his balance. Devon Moore still on his feet. Great move.
Look at him go, kid.
Look at Devon Moore go. As he is stripped, but it's out of bounds. Beautiful play. And there's some real speed and a really good open field run by Moore for a first down.
That was a great play by Moore.
That's the first time we saw Brother Martin personnel on offense run away from people.
You're right.
Danny. You know, and a good job from him for getting to the outside on a crossing pattern and taking it upfield for a nice gain.
A gain of 45 yards. Biggest play of the game for Brother Martin. And a first down. Stops, looks, throws, deep. Faust overshot him.
Yeah, had him.
Had him open by a couple steps, just overthrown the ball. A little too excited on that one.
Yeah, Warren Easton, they're just rushing forward, but it looks like they're more concerned with kind of containing everything, not letting anything in the running game kind of get through, but it doesn't look like they're going after Pierce as hard.
I think they've rotated some of their second-string guys in, too. I really can't tell because I can't see the numbers.
Right.
But it certainly looks a little like a different defense than we saw earlier.
2nd and 10 from the 35.
God, look at that.
Heavy pressure. Ball's knocked away. It's loose.
That's gonna be
It's on the ground. It's picked up and recovered for Warren Easton inside the Brother Martin 30-yard line.
Yeah, right when I said they wasn't coming, huh? They have another sack.
It was 54. Jacob Parker who comes up with it.
I thought it was going to be a scoop and score there. He just couldn't keep his feet. But, boy, that was ugly. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put four receivers out on the pattern. You really don't have anybody to help out tackles, guards, and center from blocking. And Warren Easton brought the house, and wasn't good for Pierce.
No.
So Warren Easton will get it. Great shape at the Brother Martin 30 with 6:46 to play. In command here. On first down, Snap it. Edwards play fakes, wants to throw. Steps up into heavy traffic. He'll go down.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, good job by the defense front getting pressure, but also give credit to the secondary because that was almost a covered sack because he had a couple of seconds to throw the ball, but there was nobody open downfield. It's a good overall effort by the defense on all levels.
Yeah, Mac Brown, you got to give him credit for that sack. Defensive end hadn't called his name too many times tonight, but good job getting pressure, containing the quarterback, getting the sack.
Third sack for Brother Martin. And it's second down and 18. Throw outside is a bouncer. Edwards didn't get it there. Incomplete.
That's one of the best plays of the game, too, Lenny. Just a hitch route in space and let the wide receivers, Tate and these guys do damage.
Also got your backup quarterback in now, too. So,
yeah, we see
you
why.
know.
So it's third down and 18. From the 38 with 6:06 to play. Water break time. Yes, it is.
I'm surprised Warren Easton just didn't run the ball at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, even, I understand trying to get guys some work and backup quarterback and everything else, but you would think you want to get to the bus without any injuries and make sure that you're good
and they
to
were
go.
moving the ball in the first half when they were running the ball a little bit. It wasn't like, Brother Martin was totally stopping
They
them.
really haven't run the ball tonight. I'm just looking at the numbers. They haven't run the ball well at all. Like I said, Legendre has 7 carries, 53 yards. But most of that was improvisation.
Right.
Clayton has 4 carries for 12 yards. Johnson, 3 carries, -2 yards. Their leading rusher for the last 2 years, Barabino, 5 carries for no yards.
Wow.
So you got 10 yards, except for the quarterback, you only give him 10 yards.
Yeah. So they haven't run the ball well at all.
I mean,
They've
defense.
thrown it at will.
Yeah.
Defense has not played badly at all, especially against a team of this talent level.
Of course not.
But, you give a couple big plays on the back end, and it just kills you. And listen, honestly, the biggest disappointment tonight has been the offensive line. They've just not – they really had no answers for this Warren Easton on defensive front.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, and give credit to them.
Give credit, man. Don't take anything away from those guys.
Yeah,
but
they've been in, like Kenny said, they've been in all night. They hadn't come out one play, except for now in the fourth quarter when the game's already decided. But 3 quarters, they didn't come out at all.
Third and 18. Edwards retreats, steps up, has time, throws deep down the middle in the traffic, incomplete.
You got a flag in the backfield. It's got to be holding.
It is, and they'll decline it, I would think.
Yeah,
fourth down and 18 coming up.
Of course, if they took it, it'd be about an 18-yard penalty because they already threw the flag.
You're right.
At this point, enough already, right?
Yeah. You would think.
I'm tired.
Maybe we can find our offense.
Well,
I got up early this morning.
I was at Hoss Memphis at 9 this morning, and here we are. So.
I was timeout,
I was setting up for the Mount Carmel cross country meet at 5:15. At 5:15 this morning. Yes, 5:15. So.
I'll be both of y'all. I woke up to my 15-month-old baby waking up at 3 in the morning. So.
No, I don't sleep. How's that?
Yeah.
Had a little surgery a few months ago, and I haven't slept since.
That's not good, Kenny.
Hey, when that happens, I don't sleep. Punt is away, and it's toward the left sideline. Bounces at the 10, stays there. Brother Martin player almost ran into it, but fortunately did not. And Brother Martin will get it at the 11 with 5:54 to play, trailing 22-0.
Chicken, you're way too old to have a 15-month-old.
I am.
What's up with that?
I got that problem fixed, though. Little friend Steve LeVere helped me out.
Steve LeVere.
Steve LeCour, yeah.
Close enough.
Steve LeVere bet him down to help me out. I don't think he's qualified.
Oh,
Steve somebody, whatever.
Right. I don't want him coming after me with a knife. That's for sure.
There's no way he's coming.
Here.
He's coming at me with a scalpel.
No, I'm running. I'll find my 4.5 speed.
Oh, God. Would you have the procedure at Eye Care Associates or what?
No.
Not that one.
I don't trust those lasers either.
From the 11-yard line. First and 10. I gotta stop laughing. Pierce steps up. He'll go down again. Well, that's sack number 8.
Wow.
Loses a couple more. I mean, it's been a jailbreak, guys.
It really has.
Warren Easton got down. Hopefully he's okay.
And that's him. That's the big nose tackle, Holmes.
Like you mentioned, Kenny, at this point, you don't want to get anybody hurt.
He might be tired now, but I'm
he
surprised he's still in.
Break.
But the last thing you want in a game like this where on either side where the game's decided is to get anybody hurt.
The starter, yeah.
You're in week 2.
Right.
He's coming out now.
I think it might be more of a he got winded issue.
What a game he's played. 2nd and 12. Pierce the play fake. Steps up with time. Flag is down.
Watch
though.
behind you.
He's going to be hit and sacked for a fumble. And Warren Easton
And there
has
you
it.
go.
So the Eagles have it on the turnover. Likely hold will be declined.
Man, just think of all the penalties that were declined tonight.
You're not kidding. I mean,
It might be 80 yards of penalties that were declined.
lots of penalties on both sides.
That'll be the 3rd turnover.
I'll tell you one thing we haven't seen tonight, though, that I know, Kenny, was a point of emphasis for the officials this year, was we really haven't seen the late hit the defenseless receiver call, which I know has been kind of controversial.
We saw it last week.
We saw it a couple times last week where, like, you would think that you always look at a play, and if it looks bad, it's bad. And they had a couple throws on flags, like, wow, that was a penalty.
Yeah, you almost wonder if they were doing it to kind of set the example, set the tone of the game. But a couple of them were really close.
From the 15-yard line. And a timeout's going to be taken here. 5:08 to play.
I think we only had 10 players on the field.
Yeah,
I hate when that happens.
The coach is saying that.
It's tough enough, man.
We're already down by 22.
They let you have 11.
Come on, guys. We want to get enough out there. Give us a chance, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. And we have the opportunity. If you want 5-star service from a financial institution that you can trust, Hancock and Whitney Bank has you covered with expert business bankers and products for businesses of all sizes. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com. Our thanks to Hancock Whitney for their continued support of CrescentCitySports.com and these broadcasts and the website at large. It's been a blessing with the site. We launched it August 1st, and it's been just terrific. Really pleased with everyone that's involved, helping to make it happen on a daily basis.
Yeah, actually, been going there quite a lot, Kenny. Y'all did a great job. It looks fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Is that in spite of Jude, or is that
in spite of
help
very much so.
Okay.
He's listening right now.
He better be.
Yeah, no doubt. He heard you.
Okay, good.
Here's a run inside for about 3 to the 12-yard line. Marabino.
We enjoyed calling him last week with Mr. Jude. He's a special guy.
Good person, does a tremendous job for us. Got him involved, I don't know, goodness gracious. I'm trying to think back, maybe 15 years ago at UNO, and have proliferated that involvement, relationship over time. He's done a great job in every aspect of the game that we've employed him in. Really good. And now an owner of the site with us as well. Here's Edwards looking to throw. Throws it outside to no one. The green space incomplete.
You know, Kenny, Chad and I were doing the math last week. I think this is our 11th year of doing these games with you.
We're getting old.
We're still waiting for a paycheck, too, Len. Still hadn't come in the mail yet.
It's the contribution to the school, man. The alma mater. Come on, man.
Nah,
talk to Kenny Spellman about that.
Yeah, I think you should. Where's Kenny at? We'll talk to him now.
I didn't see him today. I'm not sure he's here.
Wrestling coach, man. I mean, he just yelled too much. You know what I mean? 3rd down and 7.
Short man syndrome.
Stops, looking, throwing, end zone, overthrown, incomplete with 4:21 to play. Edwards 0 for 5 now, and it's 4th down.
Good job by Kyle West, kind of rushing, putting some pressure on the quarterback.
They look a little bit different with Legendre not at quarterback.
No, you're not kidding. They look human.
Yeah.
He's a special player. Tate's a special player. Tyler's a special player.
I mean,
Sticks Jones.
You don't want to lose football games, but there is no shame losing to this team. This team is a very good football team.
Outstanding. Kicking game worries me a little bit, but they got a legitimate shot to win it all.
Yeah, that's one thing that can come up and bite you in a close game down the road. And, not a long kickoff. Special teams will come back and extra point. Not only that, but also they don't.
Well, they got Landry Walker and Curtis coming up. That's going to be fun to see. Bumped him. He caught it anyway, and
that is unbelievable.
In the end zone. Touchdown.
Wow, that is incredible.
Touchdown, Warren Easton.
I thought he might have bobbled the ball, but man, what a great awareness of where his feet were in the end zone, back of the end zone, making that catch.
I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, but they're still running the clock. I don't know if we went to running time here.
I don't think so.
Well,
15-yard touchdown pass to Sticks Jones. Had to wait to see who the number was. And it's 28-0, and will they try to kick it? It looks like they will.
That was a great job by Jones. I mean, really just finding where his feet were in the back of the end zone, making that grab. Great awareness.
Looks like they'll try to kick it. See if they have any success doing so. Snap it. Kick is high.
Bounce off somebody's
the kick
helmet.
is good.
They got it through.
So the kick goes through.
Easy peasy.
No problem. And a jump bump there for the kick. You got to like that. Good to see. They're able to get one. Jamal Sam.
And the clock is still running.
It's still running.
Jabari Watts, that's kind of hobbling off the field. That's not a good sign.
No, you don't want to see that.
You know, Brother Martin's had two tough games here to start the season with Petal and Warren Easton, and it doesn't get much easier. But you know, next week's another chance, and you got to go back and look at this film. And there are some good positives from this to take away from this football game, especially defensively. But Chad, I tell you what, though, offensively, you got to be a little bit concerned.
Yeah, you just got to find a playmaker, Lenny, and we don't have one. We don't have a go-to guy. You know, and I know Coach is starting a lot of young kids, and they're out there and they're getting some playing time, but you need somebody to step up. And I think it absolutely has to be coming from Pierce, the quarterback. They got to find a way to get him more involved because he's got the most playing time, most leadership on this team. But it's got to come from somewhere, Lenny. And I just don't think they're utilizing him enough for whatever reason. But Pierce has got to get more involved because this offense is very stagnant.
And it's really such a change, just a complete 180 from the way this offense has been the last 3 years. It's been so prolific under last year under Pierce and under Jake Brogry for the a couple of years before that. And of course, like you mentioned, you know, we have Bruce Jordan Swilling back there and Jeremy Singleton. That'll make things a lot easier.
Yeah, you can give it to those guys for 20, 25 carries, but we don't have a guy like that this year.
No, come on.
Keep going.
He's loose,
keep going.
and he's tripped up. Good return across the 45.
Flag.
To about the 47. There is a flag. So
Shocking.
It's probably coming back anyway.
A lot of hankies on the field tonight.
Man, I'll tell you what.
I've never purchased a yellow handkerchief in my life.
No, I don't have any.
And I don't plan to either. So the discussion ensues. Looking like a spotted fracture. Brother Martin hasn't had a penalty in a long time. Remember, they had a ton earlier. They've been stuck on 8 for 94 for a while, but they're going to get some more here.
Yeah.
Chop block is Kyle said. That's going to be a major one. That's 15. That'll put them over 100 yards. 9 for 109 yards. Warren Easton is 10 for 118. Ouch.
Man, when you got 100 yards of penalties and you put up a goose egg on the board, that's you got to do some soul searching.
Not a good combination, is it?
No, it really isn't. When you're trying to find offense and you know, you're going backwards, that's a lethal combination.
3:05 left. Brother Martin starts from the 20. Go right and get about 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's all fine and dandy in the first quarter, but I think they're content to
Rouge gets up limping after the carry.
You know, you kept it 6-0 at halftime, and unfortunately, the defense just couldn't quite hold up after a while. They got tired. It's tough to be out there that long, and especially when your offense really can't go on any sustained drives to speak of. And it just makes it hard to especially against a team this talented, just to hold together every play. Because if you make one little mistake, you know, you make one false step on the back end, they can get behind you. And then even if you don't, you got a quarterback that could sit here and just make it life miserable for you.
Yeah.
Blow the whistle here. They're stopping play for some reason. Mark Moniz is on the field talking to the official about something.
Might have been where he saw the foul. That was a spot foul call, so he might be upset. That was a nice return. I think he returned it almost 45-yard line, so it was a significant penalty.
Well, they're having a long discussion. I mean, considering it's 29-0 with 2:26 to play.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to justify anything, but
yeah.
But they continue to have that discussion. He'll get his 2 cents in, or his 3 cents, or 5 cents. What about the 2 cents?
Don't know where that came from.
Where'd they come from? I mean, I don't know. Who's going to give somebody 2 pennies anyway? I mean, come on, man.
That had to have been
Not nowadays.
I'll check and see if I have 2 pennies in my pocket.
Why would you?
I got some change.
No, not penny.
Because I got change this morning. That's why. Well, the answer is
yes, you do.
I got 2 pennies, man. I did. It's pretty good.
Maybe do a call-in segment, Kenny. Guess how much change you have in your pocket.
Right.
If things get out of
The
control.
way this is deteriorated,
Right.
It's understandable.
Since
at
my
least if you're a Brother Martin
6-year-olds.
fan. If you're a Warren Easton fan, you love this, and you
Yeah.
should. It's a really good football team and program. It's a pleasure to watch them play.
They are good.
2nd and 7 at the 23. Play fake. Oh, no, he handed it to Rouge, 25-30.
Good cut.
Rouge to the 35. Rouge for the first down. That's about the 39. Good run for 16 yards.
He is. He's a good, tough little back, and I know all the twos are in right now, but I think that was the first time I saw a hole open up, Lenny.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's a shame, that you've seen these guys progress, and Fleetwood and Bro and Grubbs and Aurelia, those guys really done a good job, but tonight they kind of struggled against a formidable Warren Easton defensive line.
1st and 10 at the 39. Takes the snap, gives it right to Rouge again. Cut back, 40, 44, bent backwards.
Watch out.
Close to the 45. Here's Rouge. Clock running at 1:25 and counting. Give him 6 yards on the play to the 45.
Brother Martin still with all their first team players in there. Their
Trying to
first-string
establish
They're trying to do
something.
something. I mean,
Yeah.
something positive going into next week.
2nd down and 4. Takes the snap, wants to throw it quickly to the outside. It does. It's caught by Devon Moore. Made one good move, but then gets down.
that's-
Gain of 2.
Kind of like to play Warren Easton, how they scored, how Tate scored earlier on. But, Warren Easton's defense, all that team speed, they did a great job of preventing that from even getting a 1-yard gain.
To the 47, where it's 3rd down and a couple. 3rd and 2. Could be the last play of the game. 25 seconds and counting. Snap it. Run it inside. Rouge will get the first down. So that'll stop the clock momentarily as he gets to the 48, a gain of 5. Good hard run.
Yeah, that should. 15 seconds left. That can be the last play if Brother Martin wants it to. Let's see if they decide to make another snap.
Put it down to the 49, a gain of 4 and a first down for Rouge.
Looking at Joseph Parenti right now, he was awfully quiet. They didn't,
Yeah, and I didn't use, I think, kept him in blocking a lot, frankly, trying to.
So 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 play left. They give it to Rouge. He'll be stuffed. And the Warren Easton Eagles have shut out the Brother Martin Crusaders by the score of 29-0 here this evening in a very impressive performance by Warren Easton as they get it done in very convincing fashion to win this one by the score of 29-0 over Brother Martin. We'll take a timeout. We'll return with our post-game show in a moment. This is Brother Martin Football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and through CrescentCitySports.com.
Now remember that tonight's game is brought to you by my mama's house in Cornbread Chicken and Waffle. They have the best fried chicken on the bone. Best fried chicken to the bone, excuse me. My mama's Cornbread Chicken and Waffle.
Victory tastes sweet for Warren Easton. They shut out Brother Martin 29-0 here this evening. Ken Trahan, Lenny Sumich, and Chad LaRose. Warren Easton improves to 2-0 with the victory. Brother Martin drops to 0-2 with the defeat. We owe you one more timeout. We'll take that right here. We'll come back with some final numbers and a final word in just a moment. 29-0 Warren Easton over Brother Martin. This is Brother Martin football on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and through CrescentCitySports.com. Warren Easton a winner here this evening by the score of 29-0 over Brother Martin. Ken Trahan, Lenny Sumich, Chad the Rose. Some final numbers real quick. Brother Martin rushed for 115 yards, passed for 127 for 242 yards total. Warren Easton rushed for 57 but passed for 365 for 422 yards. Lance Legendre was 14 of 20 and for 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. He rushed 7 times for 53 yards. Damian Tate, 3 catches, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Johans Tyler and Sheldon Sticks-Jones each had a touchdown reception as well for Warren Easton, who had 9 sacks in the game.
Wow.
And forced 3 turnovers, and they win it by the score of 29-0. Lenny, final thought?
Rough night for the Crusaders. Just went up against a juggernaut of a team today in Warren Easton. Defensively, I think some things you can take away on the positive end. Did a good job against the run against a good Warren Easton team. Unfortunately, just gave up a few big plays on the back end. Offensively, not a lot of silver lining there. Just a rough night. Couldn't really get anything going. Not much going. Offensive line had a rough time handling the Warren Easton defensive front, and just got to go back to the drawing board, go look at the film, and try to get better to face a very good Hahnville team next week.
Chad, final thought?
Still looking for trying to get a playmaker on offense. We just really don't have anybody to turn to when we need to put points on the board. On defense, 2 weeks in a row, we've given up the big plays. Defense looks tough, but they're susceptible to the big play. And when you put up a goose egg and you give up over 100 yards in penalties, that's not a good combination. So Coach Bonice and the coaching staff of Brother Martin have their hands full because the next 3-4 weeks aren't going to be a cakewalk.
No doubt. Next week, Brother Martin has a tough test at Hahnville and Boutte at 7 p.m. And this Warren Easton club will play Landry Walker at Berman Stadium next Friday night at 7 p.m. Our next broadcast of Brother Martin football will be on September 30th as the Crusaders battle St. Augustine, 7 p.m. here at Ted Gormley Stadium on WGSO 990 AM and at CrescentCitySports.com. And we want to remind you that every business needs a partner they can trust, so go with Hancock and Whitney Bank, voted 2017's best New Orleans area bank by City Business. See how they can help you take your business to the next level at HancockWhitney.com. 29-0, a victory for Warren Easton over Brother Martin. Want to thank Cartrell in the studio. Thanks to Chip Merritt and to Matt Merritt here as well for a job well done. And Lenny, Chad, Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. Great to be back with you.
Always Kenny. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Now this is Ken Trahan saying thank you for joining us, and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long. All right, thank you very much, Gautreaux. Have a good evening.